And we are back here at Glenn Martin Hammond's office in Coal Run. We got a loaded house tonight as we got the Maestro Thomas Rainey back on the boards. He's Kevin Keathley, I'm Darryl McCoy, and we got special guest host Bryce Hoskins back with us again, Coach.
Well, listen, Darryl McCoy, the Maestro's back, right? Yeah, we're live in living color. And, oh, yeah, we got the monster in the middle. We got, Mr. Bryce Hoskins in the building. Got to fill us in. He's the expert guru on 14th Region basketball. So, we had to have him back because we've been away for a couple of weeks. Yeah, a lot to talk about, Darryl McCoy. A lot's went down.
A ton has went down. But I wanted to start about what happened at the gas station today.
Okay, yeah.
So, as always, out and about, working during the day, doing the sales part of it, and stopped at a gas station. Actually, one right down the road here, and walked out, and this lady started screaming, "Fake news! Fake news! Fake news!"
Man. Brutal. Yeah.
I walked over and I said, "What are you talking about?" And she never shut up. Fake news, fake news. The whole time I tried to have a conversation with her. Yeah. She just kept fake news, fake news. And a guy walked out. He walked out, never knew the guy. He's probably mid-50s. Fist bumped me. He's like, fist bumped me. And he walked to his truck. And he come back, and she was still going, fake news, fake news. And I was just standing there. My car was on the other side of the gas station, and I just walked out because they was mopping the other side. And so I was just standing there trying to, talk to the lady, see what her issue was. I knew the lady because, this isn't the first time I've had a run-in with her. Yeah. But the guy walked to his truck, and he come back. And he said, "I love what you guys do." He said, "You guys covered my granddaughter's signing," and handed $50. Yeah, and right in front of her the whole time. Fake news. And he said, "Lady," he said, "what they do," he said, "is something that was truly needed in our area." And so, in return for that nice gesture, we're going to give $50 away to some person that shares tonight's show. Well, at the end of the day, we'll have Maestro do go through, and I don't know how we'll do it, but we'll pick one of you guys that share and give $50.
Yeah.
But this lady, I've had a run-in with her, and I talked about it on the show a couple of weeks ago. She has a child that plays on one of the teams we cover, and, she, of course, is not happy that we don't talk as much about it. So, but, run into her again, and fake news. So, so it's been a Monday, to say the least. As I was telling Thomas earlier, we, went over to Birch. Was on the way back to do the show, got the Pikeville, realized, forgot my wallet, and so I had to go all the way back to Birch. Yeah. So to say this has been a Monday would be an understatement.
Well, Darryl McCoy, it's even Steven. You get one that says we love you, another one that says they hate you. That's just the way it works.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. Listen, that's a part of the deal. Listen, it ain't stopping the drive, it ain't stopping the determination, and it ain't stopping the passion. And ladies and gentlemen, here's some real dose reality for you. Guess what? Not every kid is going to get the same type of platform. Not every kid is going to get the same type of attention as another kid. Some kids are a little further along than other kids. I don't know who Darryl McCoy is talking about. I'm just telling you that's the real deal way of life. This ain't a trophy society, and hey, that's just the way it is.
No, the kid ain't a bad player. Yeah, it's just you get what you work for, and so if anybody knows or got to see that and knows this lady, tell her thank you, because some lucky fan's going to get $50 today, courtesy of wonderful D&D fan.
Right.
But as always, guys, let's start with Kentucky basketball.
Oh man.
I mean, where's it at? 3 weeks ago we thought we was winning the national title. Now it don't look so much. It seems like the train has started to derail, not all the way, but has took the wrong turn now.
Bryce Hoskins, Darryl McCoy, the Maestro. Well, I don't think the Maestro is a big-time Coach Cal fan.
Absolutely not.
I'll say this, and Bryce, I've seen Bryce talking a little bit about UK basketball, so I'll let him pick up off where I leave it. I'll say this. I think sometimes when you add pieces so far into the year, which was around January, sometimes that can discombobulate the rotation a little bit, Darryl McCoy, and adding 3 7-footers when that lineup with Trey Mitchell at the 5 and those 4 guards and Adu, those guys just spacing the floor, attacking, scoring, doing what they do. Really tough matchups, tough to guard. I think then you mix and match and you start adding people. Sometimes it can change the flow and the rhythm of a basketball team, offensively and defensively.
Yeah. You look at UK basketball and you see, anybody knows basketball knows that you have to have a concrete lineup. You look at injuries. Big Z getting eligible, all the bigs coming back from injury. You take that in consideration. And you think, well, UK just starting Reed Shepherd. He played 40 minutes the other night. Yeah. If you do not have a concrete lineup and you do not have an identity, it's gonna be hard to pull out big games, because when it gets tough, you gotta have something to fall back on. You gotta have that bread and butter, that PB&J, something that we say, all right, this is what we're gonna do. I don't think UK has that the other night. Now Rob Dillingham, huge game, 35 points, still wasn't enough, to take down UT, but. As I've seen a lot, it was men versus boys in that night. UT stronger, more physical, way more composed on offense. They just came out and they did the right things to win the game. UK made big plays, but at the end of the day, they didn't make the experienced grown man plays that it takes to win the game. So I'm gonna stay on the optimistic side and say that's a learning experience, and we're gonna grow from it. So let's just hope I'm right come next month.
Well, Maestro, I know, it's sometimes you see when pieces are added, things can go haywire, and, sometimes it's fool's gold. Big Z come back. It's not like we was playing, Duke, and it looked good at first. But ever since he's come back, things haven't been that great, so I don't know. You never want to, because we know he can be a huge asset, but until you can get him playing within, the way the team was playing, and that's the thing, when he comes back, you don't try to force something that's not there. We've been what we are because we've been playing small ball. Mm-hmm. We got great guards on this team, and as you said, Trey Mitchell at the 5. That's the lineup. Well, you want to put Big Z in. Take and have him. In the 4 and 5 positions. Don't go messing with the entire team. Just slim minutes down, and it seemed like there was a knee-jerk reaction. Going and playing Reed the entire game. It's, because Cal all year, it's been all he's always done is talk about how the fans has been on him about Reed, and then he goes out and plays Reed the entire game. That's just a overreaction by a coach, and right now, that's not really what this Kentucky team needs. This Kentucky team needs somebody that's going to calm them down and get this glue, or come with the glue and get this team back together.
Yeah. Darryl, we forgot to tell them this segment is sponsored by Kemper Furniture.
Yeah.
We got so excited about UK, but I think Bryce hit it. You got to have that lineup. This is who I'm going with. This is my guy. This is my dogs I'm running with, so to speak. Yep. And then all of a sudden you start messing with it. Then that player loses confidence, and once they start losing confidence, it just starts snowballing. And then the kid that comes in maybe doesn't step up to the task. Right, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you've got a recipe for disaster. But now I'm going to give Calipari the benefit of the doubt here, Coach. They didn't lose to 2 cupcakes either. These are pretty good teams that they had back-to-back losses to. But you're Kentucky, and you have the most talent every time on the floor. Well, wouldn't you agree with that?
I agree.
You win.
I think you're right. But I agree with you, Thomas, that SEC – no cupcake schedule, night in, night out, going to be difficult. But again, I think it goes back to some of those lineup changes, Darryl McCoy. Mm-hmm. And I think also defensively, listen, I hate to even question a Hall of Famer, but I think you maybe do a little more zone because you're getting exploited. That what Bryce just talked about, that physicality, especially on the perimeter. Now it's getting exposed in SEC play. Yep. So now they're getting downhill, buckets, doing what they want, kick, move. So maybe a little bit more zone into that.
Defense has been ridiculous this year. Yeah. And when you take a look, even the games that we've won, the points that we've gave up, and it's I don't know how in the world a college team with this many 4- and 5-star athletes, blue chip players on it, is dealing. I just don't understand how they can be that bad defensively. Yeah. So I put on coaching, because I mean, if you're a great coach, you fix them issues, and as we always know, Cal is stubborn when it comes to zone. Yeah. So you got to. That's where coaches go wrong. Coaches all the time, they try to stay with their philosophy instead of saying, okay, well, I may have a different roster this year. I may have different kids. Let me change my philosophy and the way that I coach. Coaches that can adjust are your great coaches. Coaches that can't. That's why I'm always a big Izzo fan. We've seen him play multiple different ways over the years. I think that's another way. I think that's why Jim Boeheim has, his time kind of passed, because he had his way, and that's the way he was going to play. So, if you can't adjust.
I go back to, you're recruiting 5-star AAU studs. That's what you're recruiting. Listen, we've all watched a lot of AAU over the years. They don't play a lot of defense. That's what it reminds me of. They're just running and gunning, getting up down the floor, and if they outscore their opponent, they do it. Yeah. They don't lock down at the end of the game and say, okay, all that other stuff's fun. Now I got to lock my guy down and play some defense, and I just don't see it out of.
And that's what I don't see too. Is when's the last time that Cal, you see guys like the Hunter Dickinson, or you see guys like the guy at Gonzaga last year. You see people that's recruited at other schools that are like that 3-star, in high school. It seems like that, nowadays Kentucky, that they're not really getting into high schools. I think they rely, and I'm not saying because, listen, they recruit the best of the best. I mean, if you look how many players go to NBA, that tells the story. But as far as college basketball goes, we don't ever have that, goofy guy with goggles that's going to kill you, because we're not recruiting that type of kid. It's 4- and 5-star athletes, So I don't know. At Kentucky, it's a little different. It's a different standard. And, if you're going to recruit them kind of guys, you better make sure that you can help develop them whenever they get here, And Cal's not used to having that. Normally he's got a really good defensive guard. I don't know that one's on this thing.
I agree with you on that, Darryl. And Thomas Rainey made one good point. My final thought on it is Thomas said, and we were talking about consistency of what you have as a basketball team. Now, fans, if you're not watching Kentucky, let me equate it to the high school here. Look at the teams in the 14th and 15th, 16th region that have kept a consistent lineup. Pikeville all season long, they believed in their guys, knocking off Harlan. Go to 14th region, Hazard and Breathitt County, they stuck with their guys and believed in them, and you see them get better and better, and they trust one another. Coaches saying, I believe in you guys. Losses, wins, I believe in you. You look over at Martin County, the same thing. You just, wherever you go, Ashland, Boyd County, it's those same lineups, no changes, consistency in the lineup. So if you haven't watched a lot of Kentucky, that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a ton of comments coming in. Everybody's asking about the McGoffin and Martin game. It is at Martin, and we cannot stream it, Martin. Sorry for that. We really wish we could. We've got comments. Yes, got to learn defense, plain and simple, says James and Jen Case. Definitely more zone. Give up 90 points, and you'll lose 9 out of 10 times.
I agree with that, definitely. Yeah. You're not going to win a national championship.
That's exactly right. And Kevin Stepp said, no straight line drive, stop the ball, rotate over, and do not chase the ball.
Absolutely. Guys, keep them comments and questions coming in the comment section below. We want to answer your guys' questions. We're going to our first break here. We'll be right back. And, guys, we're going to get started on middle school basketball a little early tonight. Yeah. So come right back and join us for the middle school top 10.
Looking for a great selection, great prices, and a great experience on your next ATV, motorcycle, or side-by-side? Come check out Keefer's Kawasaki.
Our #1 goal is to offer you the best power sport experience at a great price.
Like this new 23 Kawasaki Teryx 4 for only $17,999. Before you write that check with us. And remember, your adventure starts here at Keefer Kawasaki. Route 44 South, Jerry West Highway in Logan, or visit
For a great selection and a great experience for your next Harley-Davidson, come on down to Mountain State Harley-Davidson here in Delbarton, West Virginia.
We have new 2023 models in stock and ready for delivery. Special financing available.
Or choose pre-owned with one of the largest inventories in the tri-state area with great low prices.
Visit our showroom filled with licensed Harley-Davidson apparel and more.
Don't write that check until you check with us, Mountain State Harley-Davidson, 61 Priest Bottom Road, or visit us online at mountainstatehd.com.
Kentucky understands the importance of taking care of one another. That's why after graduation, I came home. 25 years later, I've put together a team at Glenn Martin Hammond Law Offices dedicated to fighting for your legal rights. When you're dealing with a sensitive legal issue, you want someone who will take care of you as a person, not just another case. Our team will help you through the legal process of Social Security, personal injury, work injury, car wrecks, wrongful death, medical malpractice, and nursing home neglect. Call us today.
All right, Darryl, we're back here live at Glenn Martin Hammond's Law Office. And guess what? This segment is sponsored by Glenn Martin Hammond, Attorney at Law.
It absolutely is. If you're in it for the win, call Glenn.
You better believe it.
Glenn Martin Hammond, as always, he's built us this luxurious studio here. As we've been at this, 3 years have we been here?
Absolutely.
3 years been here at Glenn Martin Hammond's.
And the crazy thing is, Glenn's built it with his own hands. You know, he came in here overtime getting it done. Unbelievable, man. I'll say it time and time again, Darryl McCoy. It's just not about winning cases with him. It's about the community. He was such a big part of our elementary cross-country teams with his daughter Reese over the years. Me and Leanne coached those teams, and guess what? He bring over snacks and drinks, so supportive. Great guy.
Yeah, and as we're sitting here, guys, you're coming back. Get them comments and questions in. We got Kevin Keathley to my right. I'm Darryl McCoy, Maestro Thomas Rainey on the boards, and we got special guest Bryce Hoskins in the house here. As we got a load of people tuning in, guys, hit that like and share button. Remember, somebody that shares tonight's broadcast will win $50 code hard cash, thanks to an unhappy fan. So, but guys, middle school, it's coming that time of the year. All the county tournaments are starting to wrap up. I know we got the schedule for the Pike County. I don't know if we'll be doing it or not, but the Floyd County just concluded last night, and Betsy Lane won it, correct?
Yeah, Betsy Lane, what an epic matchup. You had two of the, I say, arguably top 5 teams in the D&D coverage area, and Betsy Lane and May Valley going out, and they did not disappoint. And it was Caden Hall, the 7th grader, stepped up in that 8th grade game, Darryl, and became the star for Betsy Lane. Scored the final 5 to push them to a 3-point win.
Wow, three-point win, and that right there, I think everybody knew that Floyd County was going to come down to them too. Yeah. It was just a matter of time.
Well, we talked about it. We went down and covered that Betsy Lane and Chapmanville game, and we actually talked to Caden Hall's dad after the game, and he was very gracious, said he loved what D&D did, and thankful that we came down. But we mentioned it during that game that Caden Hall, probably the biggest piece of that 7th grade team, was going to be a big factor. We said it. He's going to be a big factor in that county tournament. Sure enough, Maestro, he came up big late.
Hit the 3 to give them a 1-point lead, and then hit the 2 free throws to push it out to finish out 3 points. But again, what a great performance by May Valley. I mean, you got to go with Wesley Buck, 22 points, but just came up a little short. His mom posted a picture of him just in tears, and it was a rough way to lose. Anytime you lose a county championship, but.
Especially the competitor that Wesley Buck is, and tonight we got the Mingo County tournament on. The girls started tonight, so you guys can catch that on D&D Sports Network as well.
Also had Letcher County last week.
Yes.
We had the Letcher County. That's the first time we had done Letcher. It worked into the schedule, and we had the championship game on Sunday.
Yeah, the Sunday night yesterday, and was it Whitesburg?
Whitesburg, I believe.
Roxburgh ended up getting the dub. So as middle school segment, now this is one of the most anticipated segments. It's one of the most heated segments. Is the middle school top 10. Nobody will agree with this, but let's take a look and see how it panned out.
Middle school top 10, Darryl McCoy. Here we go. It is number 10. We have Johnson Central. Number 9 is Pikeville. Hazard jumps in at number 8. Chapmanville at 7. May Valley at 6. Mullins slides in at the number 5 spot. Logan at 4. Betsy Lane at 3. Shelby Valley at 2. And East Perry at number 1.
Oh.
That's the wrong graphic.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah, I started saying when I'm reading that wasn't right. So don't get upset.
Watch out now.
I've just been assaulted out there in the parking lot.
Coming for the next now.
They're coming for my car. Yep. Let me put it back on and you all talk and I'll find the right graphic because that was not the right.
There's a slew of teams there McCoy, in that top 10 and there's been a lot of talk.
Yeah.
Listen, who's number 1? Who's number 2? West Virginia, Kentucky, and we've got a chance, Darryl, to see those matchups here in the last week or so, West Virginia, Kentucky.
Do we got a new one up yet?
Well, no, I'm working on it.
Oh, okay.
Because we were there with Chapmanville and Betsy Lane.
Yeah, it was, and in middle school right now, when you go and look, it's really tough because when you got the middle school, we was talking middle school player of the year. You got about 5 names that have set themselves apart. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that obviously I think Dakota Dalton is one of the leaders.
One of the favorites,
I think Connor Morganson from Powell County. I think. The Andrew Terry, from Owsley County. Then you got to go with Wesley Buck. He's got to be in that conversation. And then it's tough because Andrew
from Betsy Lane.
Yeah, Betsy Lane.
Andrew Collins.
Andrew Collins. I'm having a brain fart here. But Andrew Collins, obviously in that. And then, Shelby Valley, the thing about Shelby Valley is they got 3 really good players, 3 or 4 really good players that's going to steal votes from each other.
Yeah.
I think the kid from Mullins, our guy.
Colton
Ratliff.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Logan's got Bentley Wimps, and they got Lucas Lambert, they got Zoe Murphy, they got Grayson Sanders. But they got so many great players. They're going to steal
votes
from each other.
I just don't think there's a
clear-cut
dominant. This is it. Would you?
No,
like in the past, we've had it, and we said, "Well, okay, that's your player of the year."
Yeah. If you've had, if you asked me to narrow it down to 3, I would probably go Connor Morganson, Andrew Terry, and Coda Dalton would be the 3 that I would pick.
I agree with that.
That's 3 solid ones.
Yeah.
That is 3 solid ones. Well, I've got the top 10 now.
You got it now?
Let's
see it.
Yeah, let's try that one more time.
Yeah.
Don't you love live TV? Let's take 2. Number 10 is Powell County. Pikeville slides in at number 9. Hazard stays 8. May Valley is 7. Mullins at 6. Shelby Valley's at 5. Chapmanville at 4. Betsy Lane at 3, moving to the number 2 spot, the Logan Timberwolves. I started calling them Wildcats. Yep. And number 1 is the East Perry Miners. Others receiving votes is Johnson Central, Owsley, Carr Creek, and Whitesburg. Where did we go wrong, guys?
Listen, 5 and 6 with the Pike County, Shelby Valley at 5, Mullins at 6. Again, does it matter that 1 or 2? But Mullins has secured that number 1 overall seed in the Pike County. That's the only way I would say, well, Mullins probably should be at that 5 spot. But again, 5, 6, it doesn't really matter. I love May Valley, and I think they've had a great year. But Hazard, I might have Hazard a little higher on that list.
Luke Combs is a ball player for him.
Yeah. I really like what Luke Combs does. I do think East Perry, Logan are your 1-2 teams. I think by the end of the year it cleared out. I wish we would have got to see Logan against some more Kentucky teams, to kind of compare them with each other. But at the end of the day, the only measuring stick you really got is Chapmanville, because Chapmanville, they played Betsy Lane, Shelby Valley, and Pikeville all within the last week, and so you got to see Betsy Lane beat them by 1
at the buzzer.
Yeah, at the buzzer
at their home at the Dome.
Yeah, and then they beat
Valley
and Pikeville. They beat Pikeville pretty handily. Yeah, so and then Logan swept Chapmanville. So that's the only measuring stick that you really have.
Yeah, right.
Do they still have the middle school tournament at Logan, the Kentucky West Virginia middle school tournament over there?
No.
When I was in middle school, I used to have one.
Yeah.
At Logan?
Yeah, us, Paintsville went over there and played Logan and Shady Springs. And played them. We both played. We played Shady Springs, and Paintsville played Logan. And then the winners and losers played each other, of course. And they used to be a big thing when we went over there and stayed all night and everything. So middle school ball, I'm really glad it's picked up. It sounds like I'm glad to see a few 14th region teams on there. I don't really know as much about the 15th region middle school. I'm not around as much, and to be honest, I'm not as much of an expert on the 14th region middle school teams. But I know I'm glad to see Azle County is at least in the mix. A smaller school, so I'm glad to see them kind of getting some respect. I got a cousin and know all them kids, watched them grow up. And but Connor Morganson from Powell County, I just can't get off his subject. had 50 points against Azle County one night. The kid can just flat score the ball. And let's be honest, guys, these kids are the future. So if these kids are getting covered right now, it's no telling what they're going to be able to do in the future. So I'm glad to see that 14th region middle school is picking up a lot.
Well, Doug Wimpson says, Darryl, we lost to teams in Knoxville and Hurricane. Said we beat Chapmanville both times. That's what we've just said. That's why they're ranked number 2 behind East Perry. East Perry, they kind of wiped out everybody. There was a couple of them knocked off East Perry during the year, but East Perry had a win over every top 5 team, I think. So
except Logan.
Except for Logan and Chapmanville. But it would be interesting. Oh yeah, Nick. I forgot about Player of the Year. Definitely Nick Prater. You got to put him in that
conversation.
Oh yeah.
Conversation.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Kick and jump.
Yeah.
So and Knox Wallace's dad. So for him, he said Nick Prater and Connor Morganson are 2 of the best players that they played against. So
I agree. Both those are up there.
Yeah. So but as you take a look, like I said, that Seth Hayner done a great job with that Logan team over there. Them and Chapmanville, we had that game on the other night, and it did not disappoint. The crowds was rowdy. It was a fun game for everybody. Games that that they'll remember, and so I just this is the last middle school rankings of the year, because everybody now is county tournaments, and they'll go on to the state tournament, and it's a little harder for you to judge and keep up. So it's but that I think it's pretty even with the way that.
Oh, I do too. And I want to go back to something you said. You said, well, Logan hadn't played that many Kentucky teams. Well, when would that have even been possible until 2 or 3 years ago? You didn't see that unless it was in a tournament like you said. But now, and I think it's a lot because of our rankings. You see these teams. Oh, they're the best over there. Let me get a little bit of that. Let me try. Let's see how good you are.
We know it's why, because how many coaches have we seen? Actually, 3 or 4 of these matchups have been formed by us. You go back to the year Lenore reaching out wanting to play all these Kentucky teams. It's and that's one thing that we're really blessed, because it's gave middle school kids. The biggest spotlight that they've had in years. Definitely got to be happy.
I would have done anything to have something like this when I was in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a good team, but I would have done anything for it. But I feel like middle school, interstate, like outer state middle school matchups before D&D were unheard of. Completely unheard of. You never had West Virginia, Tennessee, Ohio, teams coming together to play each other before, and now you got these rankings coming out, and like the maestro said, we want to buy. Give us the top dog, we want to buy. So and that's a good thing.
I really wish West Virginia didn't have the stupid rule of them being able to play a limited amount of games, because if that didn't happen, I know Seth Hayner would, I know Ashley Dalton would, I know that I know every coach that we deal with. Wayne has two unbelievable twins. Yes, that's unbelievable there. I know every one of them would love to play in a Kentucky versus West Virginia battle, but because of West Virginia's rules, it makes it to where they can't play.
Right.
So
it makes it tough.
Yeah, it makes it real tough. So,
but wouldn't it be fun to watch?
Yeah, I would love it. The King of the Mountains tournament. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to announce this week's Double Quick Players of the Week. Come right back and join us.
This is Bruce Walters from Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento, only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
If you was pushed out of the area because of loss of work in the coal industry, look no longer. Jim Marr is here for you. Jim Marr is now hiring for all positions in the coal field. Stop by their offices in Logan, West Virginia or in Wheeling, West Virginia and apply today.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Whether you're trying to hit the trails in style or you're trying to protect your side-by-side, call J.I. Fab in Pikeville, Kentucky. They got great deals on roll cages, rock sliders, bumpers, Nerf bars, and more. Remember, for all your custom ATV, UTV parts, J.I. Fab is your one-stop shop for everything.
MGC Supply is your complete source for drainage and erosion control products. MGC Supply also sells services and installs Cummins generators. MGC Supply sells and delivers limestone gravel for businesses and homeowners. MGC Supply is your solution supplier and is proud to sponsor all the teams in Eastern Kentucky. 2590 U.S. Highway 23 South Pikeville, Kentucky, 41501. Give them a call today at 606-433-0077. Or you can call them at 606-794-6765.
We are back here at Glenn Martin Hammond's office. You're watching the number one and longest running high school basketball show in the state of Kentucky and the mountains of West Virginia. With Kevin Keathley to my right, the maestro Thomas Rainey on the boards. We got Bryce Hoskins in the house, and I'm Darryl McCoy here as we moving on. We got a ton of people tuning in. Scotty Dingus, we all know who he's cheering for, the Belfry Pirates. He says Pike Central boys plays Belfry tomorrow. As you also see, Seth Hayner says he's guilty of that. Said he always wants to see the best. Said no matter who it is, said he wants to play them. Pikeville's up 15 on Shelby Valley girls right now. And then we also got Martin County up on McGoffin by 11 at the half there in that 57th district matchup.
Yeah. Big
so
matchup.
Let's take a look, guys. I don't want to make them wait any longer. Let's take a look at the Double Quick Players of the Week. Who we got, Maestro?
You caught me off guard. This segment is sponsored by.
Oh yes, by Conley Brothers Giovanni's.
Yep, I popped the graphic up already. Let's get ready for those Double Quick Players of the Week. Here we go. The boys. It is Mr. Jalen Rigdon, 3-1. 26.3 points per game average over for the week and 8.3 boards. They had a nice win over Valley, Phelps, Tug Valley, and then a tough loss to South Charleston.
Yeah.
So, and then on the girls' side, it went to Jasmine Banks from Wolfe County, 2-1 on the week. 28.3 points a game, again 8.3 boards, and they lost to Estill, but they beat McGoffin and Breathitt County. So
overtime. The Breathitt game was overtime. Yeah.
For a girl to average 28 a game, that's impressive.
It is.
Yeah, but Rigdon has had a huge week. We got to see him in action on Saturday in that South Charleston game, and I tell you, Coach, that one there was one that Pike Central. I thought they exceeded expectations, and I honestly thought they was in for a double-digit loss, and they come out and they played South Charleston really tough, and there at the end didn't call the timeout. They had 2 timeouts left. We found out after and got caught up on a 5-second play. Ended up losing the game on a last-second bucket for South Charleston.
Darryl McCoy, we were there live in living color, 8,000 people tuning in, and Jalen Rigdon going head-to-head with, maybe 3 next-level performers. South Charleston. Unbelievable. They got down, 11-2 early on, and they made that shift. We talked about it with bringing in Peyton Owens defensively, changed some things, but Jalen Rigdon, talking about player of the week, all night long, his offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding, and his pace is what kept them in that ball game offensively.
By the way, guys, remember, somebody that shares tonight's show will win $50 code hard cash. So, we done the Hatfield McCoy, and as always, we've this weekend I think we had nearly 100,000 views on the Hatfield McCoy tournament, and on 2 nights. So, when you take a look, I still say it's the best in-season tournament in the mountains, and it pits Kentucky versus West Virginia. I really wish they would get some of them Logan County teams in, get Logan, Chapmanville. That would be really good to see because we ain't seen them in a while, but. Tug Valley, Martin County come down to a really good one. Probably the most anticipated game in the mountains in a long time. And it looked like it was going to be a huge blowout, but Tug Valley came back, made a game of it, and Martin County got the win.
Yeah, unbelievable matchup. And Martin County was running away with it, got up 20, and Tug Valley behind Ashton Davis. Behind Ashton Davis, got him going from deep, knocked down a couple of 3 balls, a couple of turnovers, and then Ferris knocks that 3 ball going into the 4th quarter. Darryl McCoy totally changed momentum, and you got to give Tug Valley a ton of credit of how they kept fighting, scratching and clawing, and stayed in that game.
Well, before we go into some more of the games that we've seen this past week, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, and we'll go around the horn here real quick. On the boys' side of things, we're going to give everybody one player from each region who's their front runner for Region Player of the Year. Then we'll start in the 14th region. Who you got?
14th region?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do just one. That's tough.
You get one player. Everybody gets
I'm
one
going
player.
Sperry.
I'm going to take Austin Sperry, yeah.
Are there any doubt? I mean, there's some good players, but Austin Sperry, kind of that glue that holds that entire team together, playing unbelievable this year.
I like the Evans kid.
That's who I'm taking, Eversole.
Eversole. That's it. Evan Eversole.
Eversole's my number 2.
Yeah, he's good.
Is there any doubt Sperry, is the most talented kid in the region? Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows that. But I think when you go Player of the Year, what Hazard's doing with him, and he does so much on that team. Whether it's defending, the hustle plays, the 50-50 plays, offense, defense, guarding. He can guard all 5 positions on the floor. I just think what he's doing is something that and it's hard because Sperry's so talented, and this year. This is the year that I bought into Sperry, tenfold, because I think he's matured so much on the court. I think he's went from being the kid that was a 28 to 32 point game kid, that was going out there having them monster games, to now he's raising everybody around him up, and I really think he needs commended for that. He would obviously, it's 1A, 1B with me, but right now I would take Eversole just for the argument.
Yeah.
So, but let's go.
Controversy.
Now let's go to the 16th region. We'll come back to the 16th region.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, really, I don't. I would. It was Carter, the Carter kid from Ashland. Xander. I couldn't think of his first name.
I'm going to take Jacob Spurlock from Boyd
That'd
County.
be another good one. I had him
Spurlock,
on my mind, too.
I'm going to go with Xander Carter, Darryl McCoy. His ability and what he does, a lot like Austin Sperry, what he means to Ashland, Xander Carter.
Yeah, I'm going to take Xander Carter, too. I think Xander Carter...
I'll stand alone.
I'll
stand alone.
No, I like Spurlock.
He would be my next one.
Yeah, he's my number 2 as well.
And
I feel
he
like
could...
it's the same conversation between the 14th and the 16th in a sense. I feel like it's 1A, 1B.
Spurlock's beat him head-to-head twice in the last 2 weeks.
You just take two players like Eversole and Sperry that do so much for their team.
Yeah.
It's hard to put a value and a rank on those.
It is. But at the end of the day, one of them's going to come down, and we'll have to choose one of them. But when you take a look, Xander Carter, I just think that Spurlock has more around him, and Xander, what Xander does, I mean, and I do think Spurlock, before it's over with, I think he'll end up with a Division I offer. But he's got Division I offers, I think, don't he?
He has some interest. Yeah.
So I mean, he's going to be a D1 kid, but Xander Carter, there's a reason why that everybody's wanting Xander Carter. And
all-time leading scorer to Ashland.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's an impressive feat in itself.
Liberty committed to Liberty already.
Yeah, so he's going up there, and Colin Porter.
I was about to say, look at the caliber of players that's played there in the last few years. I mean, Lord have mercy.
Well, Colin Porter is the 7th most efficient player in Division I basketball.
Oh yeah,
big time.
Yeah, I mean that's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean
Colin Porter can play ball.
Yeah. Now let's go to the 15th. Oh, well, let's go to West Virginia first.
You always want me to go first too.
You want to start with Bryce?
No, I'll go first. I like the little guard from Tug. I can't think of his name.
Ferris.
I like Ferris.
That's a good chef, Braden Ferris.
I like him.
I'm not a real expert on West Virginia, but from what I've seen, I'm going to take Parker Watts from Tulsa.
Oh, I forgot about Parker Watts.
Parker Watts,
Numbers-wise, we got to see him in live and living color last Wednesday.
Oh, man, the windmill?
Yeah, he's unreal.
I'm going to go with Chapmanville, Mr. Zion.
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick, too.
I think he's and here's why, right? And not taking nothing away from any of those other guys. Chef Braden Ferris playing for a really good Tug Valley team. He's a really, really solid guard, getting it done. Parker Watts putting up big time numbers, Mr. Energy. But I'm going to go with the guy that the big dog, playing, not backing down from anybody. Right, Chapmanville, getting it done in a big time way, and I think he's that lead horse. And you take him out of the equation. And then Chapmanville's an entirely different team playing big time opponents.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zion Blevins too. I think Zion. He can play at point forward position. I think a lot of weight's on his shoulders. The kid that that didn't get mentioned and has been really the big surprise has been the McCormick Ilderton kid from Logan.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I mean, he's been a stud this year. He could be one of the front runners for that Lathan Hall Award too. So, it's definitely going to be interesting there. But so we got Braden Ferris, Parker Watts, and 2 for Zion in West Virginia. Now, 15th region. The Maestro, have you had this on your mind?
It's Barnett. Aiden Barnett.
I ditto. I believe Aiden Barnett is the most valuable player in the 15th region for the sole fact of just the workload, man. I mean, the kid is a bank mule. He packs that team. But no disrespect to any of them players, but McGoffin County runs as Aiden Barnett runs.
I agree.
He's the man down in Sayersville, so to speak.
Well, 15th region, you can say that about a few teams, but here's the thing with Aiden Barnett. Aiden Barnett has maybe the most complete starting five, but Aiden Barnett is their real scoring option. And that's why I'm going to lean towards Aiden Barnett, is because you take Aiden Barnett out of that equation, averaging almost 28 points per game. And though those other guys can put the ball in the hole, I don't know if there's that go-to guy against big-time teams where you're just going to get a bucket, you're going to get a bucket, you're going to get a bucket. I think Aiden Barnett is the front runner right now for Player of the Year of 15th region.
Top two, not two. Remember that?
Yeah.
I had to have somebody explain to me what that was, but I get it.
He ain't number 2.
This is it's a tough one for me. I mean, I've been a couple times going back and forth this year. I think that, you know, man, it's really tough because I got to go. Rigdon beat him head to head.
I like Rigdon too,
but he dropped 50 on Pike Central. So right?
they split.
Did they split?
Yeah, McGoffin won over there.
Aiden Barnett, a game-winning layup.
Remember that
at the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
but still, I mean, that's my 1-2. I mean, right there.
I mean, I think
1A, 1B possible.
Yeah,
1-2.
1A, 1B. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even sure about that because I keep going back and forth. You know, right now, you know, I'm just. You know, this week it's Rigdon. Last week it was Barnett. Yeah. You know, a lot of it could be right now. I'm hearing he's, you know, what's going down at Martin County there. So, you know, I mean, and you know, Rigdon played against some top-notch talent the other day. You know, really strong finishing around the rim. You know, one thing I thought we'd see more of is his outside game. You know, and because this summer, I mean, he showed a couple times this year that he's added that to his game, but he don't really use it. You know, like you would think he would.
Not to the same degree we've seen him early in the year or during the preseason.
That's what I'm saying.
But Rigdon, we've seen that time and time again. He has one of the top 2 or 3 mid-range jumpers in the 15th region. Like we saw that on display at the Hatfield McCoy.
No other guard rebounds like Rigdon. He ended right there.
I agree, and you know that's so you know right now, just today, I'm gonna say Rigdon. Now next week. It could be could be Barnett again, but you know, and obviously from the outside looking in, you know, I think he's making a strong push. I don't know if his numbers will get up there to compete with it. It's Charlie Fitzer.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing, how he's competed his team. You know, he's definitely in that conversation.
I hope Charlie Fitzer's watching this show right now because there's one thing I want to say to that kid, and I'm so impressed with how he has improved.
Yeah.
But the one thing, I'm a big guy. You know, y'all know I'm a big guy. I'm a firm believer in the bigs. And Charlie Fitzer, if you're watching this show, next game, I want to see this kid do a drop step and absolutely start pummeling the post. And I'll be at the game probably. I mean, you can look at me and point at me in the stands if you want and say I told you so. But I want to see that kid take more initiative because he has I think in the 15th region, he has the highest ceiling.
Oh, I do too.
He has the highest ceiling. I mean, when you talk about production, Barnett, Rigdon, Luke Hale, I mean, you talk about production, but you talk about ceiling, I mean, 6'9", I mean, the kid is a force in the post. I mean, I've seen him almost rip the rim off a bunch. You know, I'm in Pikeville, and there's 2 more kids I want to talk about before we get off this this segment right here. And I'm in Pike, you know, I go to school in U-Pike now, and I've kind of been more acquainted with the 15th region now. I've been going down to the expo and watching the games. I went to Pikeville, watched Pikeville Harlan play. Great game. But there's 2 kids I want to talk about. I want to talk about Luke Hale and Jalen Rigdon.
Yeah.
And see, guys, I have a more unique approach in how I watch a basketball game. I don't like I like AAU, but I don't like the AAU style play. I look at Luke Hale and I look at Jalen Rigdon. 2 kids that get face guarded night in, night out. Threats. The way they affect the game by getting on the offensive boards and taking their opportunities, I'm so impressed with that, man. Like you all said, Rigdon. I mean, he rebounds the ball so well. Luke Hale in that All-A championship game. Heath Gerald was. I mean, if Luke Hale went to the bathroom, Heath Gerald was in the next stall, boys. I mean, Heath Gerald was all up in him. But Luke Hale had probably 4 offensive rebounds just in the first half. I mean, just going and getting it. So, I mean, that's something I really wanted to talk about. It's been on my mind, and I give props to those 2 guys right there because kids nowadays, you see the overtime TikTok, all the big layups and the dunks and the flashy step backs and stuff. And just when I see those kids show that grit whenever things aren't going your way, that impresses me so much.
Well, there is a kid in the 15th region that quite reminds me of Bryce Hoskins. You know who I'm talking about?
Big country. Tyler Weddington.
If you ain't seen Tyler Weddington, that's a
he
young
plays
man.
a lot like you.
Who's he play for?
Phelps.
Yeah, he's putting up 20-20 games on a nightly basis, and he's a 20-27 kid, right, Coach?
What did he drop in that 40? He had a 40 spot the other
Tyler,
day.
I will be making a trip to Phelps. Watch you, right? That's high praise.
And of course in that 14th region there, I mean, if Peyton Dixon wouldn't went out, his numbers may have had him in that conversation.
Oh yeah, easily.
So
the kid has elevated his game so much. Like, I mean, Coach Keathley said it last show. Back to the basket kid last year in the 2022-2023 year. Back to the basket more. But this year, the kid comes out and he hits 4 threes in the first game of the year against Prestonsburg, right?
Yeah.
I mean the kid. He expanded his game so much, and I can't give Matthew Taylor enough credit over there for what he's done, man. Yeah. He is a great coach. And after the year and I graduated and stuff, I went over to Letcher and helped scrimmage him a little bit. I mean, I think the world of Matthew Taylor. And I just watch him progress his kids. I mean, the guy knows how to develop players. I mean, that's the bottom line. He has so much passion. And but like y'all said, man, just terrible situation with Peyton Dixon. You hate to see a kid go out, but everybody wants their senior year the worst. So I send out my prayers to Peyton Dixon and his family.
Yeah, and the fourth one in that conversation would be Jaden Huff.
That's
he would
another
be.
good one.
He's moved up to third now with Dixon.
You're forgetting about Seth Cottle.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes. And Seth Cottle, I'm
throwing me personally, guys. I'm taking Austin Sperry, Evan Eversole, and Seth Cottle. Seth Cottle's my number 3.
Is that
that's a hill I'm willing to die on.
That's he's shown. I mean, you're talking about efficient players. He's efficient.
Yeah. You take Seth Cottle and he scores 10 less points in that All-A semifinal game against Breathitt, and they lose by 12. Yeah. The kid has 35 points. They end up scoring 70.
Well, we'll get to find out because I think we got Hazard Breathitt coming up in the next week or so, don't we?
Yeah.
At Memorial.
I've looked at that schedule so much my head hurts.
Thomas knows it by heart.
Tomorrow night, I'm cringing.
Guys, we're going to jump out. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, as the maestro always says, ladies first. Girls top 10 coming up next.
Made in America. What does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughan Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughan Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
If you want to make your dream home come true, call Solid Rock Development today. Check out some of these interior and exterior jobs they've done over the past few years. Solid Rock Development is making custom dream homes come true at a great price. Family owned, family operated, and faith backed. Give us a call today at Solid Rock Development.
This is where it all started, right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be, for generations to come.
Gracie and Tate merchandising has become a staple here in the Danville and Madison community.
They'll make sure you find that treasure that's been eluding you. Everything you need under one roof. New items at discounted prices right here at Gracie and Tate Merchandising. Go Skyhawks!
We are back here. Glenn Martin Hammond's office in Coal Run. If you're in it for the win, call Glenn. Thomas, who's this segment sponsored by?
GI Fab.
J.I. Fab.
J.I. Fab.
Yeah,
I keep saying GI. I'm
right
in the
now,
military or something.
If you're wanting to hit the Trails install, call J.I. Fab Johnson Industries. As J.I. Fab, it don't matter, row bars, Nerf bars. I mean, they'll put it on your side by side. And, you know, whether it's safety or whether it's for looks, they've got you covered. And they are nationwide. They will ship your side by side to them, do the work, ship it back.
Man, they got some nice stuff too.
Oh,
yeah, I saw some of those pictures. I was impressed.
It'd be nice to have time to enjoy that.
Yeah, it would.
The guys, loaded house tonight. We got Breathitt County's own Bryce Hoskins in the house. We got Coach Kevin Keathley, Coach K. We got the Maestro Thomas Rainey on the boards, and I'm Darryl McCoy. As we got a lot of comments coming in. Timmy Hall says Charlie Fitzer is the player of the year. Scotty Dingus says my favorite team's the Belfry Pirates. Tammy Alishire says, what about the Logan Timberwolves? Well, we talked about them in segment 2, so if you want to go back, check that out. Talked about Logan in that one. Ethan Lance said Floyd Central and Lawrence County tomorrow night. Ethan, stick around. You know, we'll take and pick a few games after in the last segment.
I like that.
You know, James G. and Case says they liked and shared it. Remember, guys, hit that share button. Somebody will win $50 thanks to an upset fan. So as we're going to get started, girls top 10, as Thomas always says, ladies first.
Ladies first.
What's it look like?
Let's see right here. I hope you've loaded the right one on this one.
I do.
All right. Number 10, the Letcher County Lady Cougars. Number 9, Knott County Central. Spring Valley at 8. Fleming County slides in at number 7. Johnson Central at number 6. Boyd at 5. Russell at 4. Ashland at 3. Pikeville at 2. And still sitting atop the D&D Sports Mountain Top 10, Wayne. Others receiving votes, Perry Central, Martin County, Chapmanville, Shelby Valley, Logan, and Mingo Central.
Okay, Darryl McCoy, here's the thing, right? So I'm going to move Johnson Central up to number 4 and move Russell down. I think Johnson Central's that good. And then why in the world is Owsley County not in that top 10 yet, or at least receiving votes? That's my 2.
Well, and I tell you, Owsley County, that was a mistake. Owsley County did receive votes. Okay. The graphics was late getting to us, but the Owsley County had 2 votes. Yeah. So and I actually went and done some homework on them to look and see, because Owsley County, I knew a little bit, but it surprised me that they got 2 votes. And I went and looked, and the only thing that I seen with Owsley County was and you see.
Now, they're young, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Owsley
right?
County's on here. They was 13th. Mm-hmm. So
young, but they're experienced.
Yeah, they've been playing a while, but they're still young.
But the difference in Owsley that I've seen with other teams is the strength of schedule. The strength of schedule just isn't what the other teams are. And Bryce, you might be able to pull that up for us, or Thomas won. But
I got a couple of good wins, right? They had a 14-point win over a top 25 team in Corbin.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had that. Went down and lost in the championship in Freeport, Florida. Actually, the same tournament we went and won my junior year. Mm-hmm. Same exact tournament. They have a girls tournament. Lost in the championship down there. Played Perry at Perry right to the wire. They play. Actually, no, we'll find out. You got the Letcher Central Lady Cougars over them. They play February 15th at Letcher. So then they get another shot at Perry Central at Owsley, and then ended.
Who's their losses?
They lost to the team in Florida. Lost to Holy Cross in the All-A.
No shame there.
Who went on to win the tournament. They had a loss to
Perry,
yes. And they had a loss to Martin County.
Yeah, so not
but
bad
now
losses.
Martin County was a close game too. That was in the YMT.
60-58.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Beginning of the season too. I mean, you can't. You take those and you build off of them. But those losses at the beginning of the season. I mean, they're 16-6, and I think they won 4 or 5 in a row. Just lately. So I mean, I'm a big advocate. I mean, it's no question. I'm from Owsley County, so I'm a big advocate for the Owsley County Lady Owls. But I think that the Owsley County Lady Owls have the highest ceiling in the 14th region.
I love Addison Terry.
She's a great player. I mean, Addison Terry, Carly Smith, Leia Lynch, Big Macy Brown down low. Nobody can stop her. I mean, that they definitely, if they stick to their bread and butter and they make simple plays, don't be surprised if you see the Lady Owls at Rupp Arena this year.
Yeah, as far as the RPI goes, they're the top in 14th, but. When you said, I mean, looking at their wins, it's like
RPI.
Lee, Breathitt, Estill, Hazard, Leslie, June Buchanan. That Corbin win's a good win.
Corbin.
Yeah.
Big Freeport, Florida.
Yeah. I don't know anything about them.
Christian, Alabama.
But when you, let's see, then you had, Boyd County, they also lost to.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the big thing. But they was 13th as they got 2 votes, and then let's pull it back up here. You was talking about Johnson Central.
Yeah.
But hang on, everybody says Wayne. How good is Wayne? Right? We'll find out. We've got them on D&D playing Russell.
That you will find out then. Everybody will get a chance to see the Wayne Pioneers and see if there's what everybody says they are.
Yeah. February 15th.
They got high praise being over the Lady Panthers.
As you got Shaylin Steele coming to town, and Pikeville, that's the big thing with them. Ended up getting, and you hated to see Kiara Thornsberry and Trinity Rowe not be able to get that state title. It come down to the wire. They had an opportunity to win that all-A state title. I mean, it's something that they've just, Christy Orm still hasn't been able to take, and she gets there every year, in the region, but she's not been able to take and bring that state title back yet. And I'm sure, that kills her that it continues to elude her. But, that was a tough one this year, especially to lose it the way that they did, knowing it was right there, and you wonder, you look at, the roster, it's senior loaded. So, will it be a couple of years before they get back there, or will they have a chance in the coming years? I mean, I know that they got Kylie Alvin coming up.
Lee Jackson's going to return for one more year.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, well, Lee Jackson, if you get Lee Jackson back, I thought she was a senior too.
She's junior.
She's a junior.
Well, if you get Lee Jackson back and you got Kylie Alvin, Shyla Kidd, then, that's a good 3 there.
I'm telling you, Lee Jackson's a Division I type talent. Now, that don't mean she'll play Division I, but she's a Division I type talent. So having her on the floor means a lot.
And I tell you what would really help if you could go grab Kat Walters out of that classroom and get her back on the hardwood. That would really help you. Yeah. And you also got Nicole Lynn, who's on the team as well.
Yeah.
So so Pikeville, but of course losing 2 Player of the Year candidates, Kiara Thornsberry, it's going to be interesting to see. I still think, as far as state goes, it's tough because her and Trinity pulls away from each other. But somebody told me, and I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody said that she was the only Division I player in the state of Kentucky not to be named a McDonald's All-American.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that McDonald's All-Americans is up. That's the nominees by the coach.
Yeah.
So the coach is the one that nominates the players. So.
Yeah, so but Kiara Thornsberry, she's one that I really think that she's driven, and I expect this year for Pikeville to get that win at Rupp. I expect for them to win a game at Rupp this year because I think right now the girls. you see them; they've been ranked number 2 for a while, but I think Pikeville has what it takes to this year to get that win. They got 2 of the best guards in the state, and you get Kiera. She's stronger. She now that she's a senior, I just think that they'll get that win that's been eluding them.
Well, it's right there. Listen, that could be motivation for them. Lose by 1, gives you a little something extra to fight for every single day. And when they get down, if they get down to Rupp Arena, because they got Johnson Central, Paintsville, and a host of others they got to get through, right? Lawrence County, if they get to Rupp, that could be just exactly what they need to advance to the Final 8, Elite 8, Final 4.
I was talking to Kara, and she, the other day, and she said, the one thing that I want, she said, is to make it to the weekend.
Yeah.
So, you can tell she's got the right thing on her mind.
That's right.
But congratulations also to Trinity Road, McDonald's All-American
nominee.
Nominee. Yeah. So, as you sit here, and then the other ones, Ashland moved up 2 spots. Boyd County dropped 2 spots. Johnson Central, I'm with you on Johnson Central. But right now, it's looking and seeing. When will they get that win to take them over top of one of the 16th regions there in a row?
And am I still right on this that their only loss came from out of state?
Yes.
Wow,
it's still correct.
Wow.
Yep. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they might have beat Paintsville pretty handily the other day.
They did.
Yep. So, that's impressive as well. Any arguments with you, Maestro?
No, I think you can go up 1, down 1, but overall I think you got the right teams. I think Owsley deserves to be in the top 10. That's my only knock on it. But the top 8, they're solid. 9 and 10 deserves to be around there, but I think Owsley needs to be inside of those 2.
Another team that definitely missing, Knott County Lady Patriots.
Yeah.
Well, they received votes. Yeah.
No, Knott County's
was
9th.
Yeah.
Oh, was they on there?
Yeah, they're 9th.
I guess I didn't pay
I'll
attention.
switch it back up. Yeah, they're 9th.
Yeah, they. But no, 10-point win over Paintsville. Split with Perry Central.
Yeah.
Knott County Lady Patriots. they have a good team. Kylie Gayhart down there, the Pollard girl inside. They have a lot of talent.
Yeah, Megan Huff has them playing really well right now.
Yes.
But Corey Brown says, "Where is segment 2? It's earlier in the show. You'll probably have to wait till the show's over to get back to it." And the team, my biggest surprise of the year so far has been the Shelby Valley Wildcats.
Yeah. I agree with you. I watched them during the summer.
Yeah.
And Prestonburg was taking care. You talk about Prestonburg beating them by 20, getting it done in a big time way. Shelby Valley's just gotten better and better and better and better. And now I think they were only down 15 to Pikeville. And people say only.
Yeah.
But when you're only down 15 to Pikeville in the 53, that's pretty good.
And that's, we got 5 minutes left in this segment here. Real quick, I know Maestro, I don't know if Maestro's got a chance to see the 14th as much as everybody on the girls' side. But, just to give the girls some love, 14th Region Player of the Year, girls.
14th Region Player of the Year, girls. I think I'm going to have to go with Emily Neese from Perry. She's a great player, shoots the lights out. I think she, like I said, the Commodores roll as she rolls.
Yeah.
I got you. I'll go Kiara Couch. Letcher County.
That's a good pick.
That I'm going with you. Who you got?
I like Bryce's pick. Really love Neese. I think she can flat out get it done. Now, Darryl was over at Perry Central Hazard, and we McLaren. Watch out!
Yeah.
McLaren.
I
said
Coach's daughter.
She's in that.
Yeah, she got to be in that conversation.
She's a great player. Great player.
But I think Kiara Couch, what I've seen from Kiara this year, to me, I have no question who my vote's going to, But so 16th Region Player of the Year. Do you know 16th Region?
I don't really think I know any of the 16th girls players.
What about you?
I'll go Steele.
That's who I'm going with. Shaylin Steele.
Easy,
I think she might be.
I'll go with her too.
We sold you.
She's probably going to be definitely one of the top 3 for Miss Basketball.
Yeah.
But you also got Kenley Woods for Ashland in that area that's putting up unbelievable numbers. West Virginia Player of the Year. Now that's one that
you can count me out on this.
Yeah, that's one. I
like Addie.
That's who I'm going with.
Addie Smith out of
Addie
Mingo
Smith.
Central.
The numbers she's putting up are blistering right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Addie Smith.
I'll go with her too.
Yeah. No. I'm taking one of the twins at Wayne.
Oh, heck, I forgot.
Atkins.
Yeah. Oh, what am I thinking?
I'm going with Atkins
Yeah,
at Wayne.
I got it. I agree.
She's.
I forgot all about them.
And they're so loaded with talent there.
But now that might be. I mean, if you come down to a vote, that might be a problem too, because they'll be pulling votes.
They got three really good players there. Yep. So.
But no, I agree. But they're good.
Yeah, the numbers that Addie puts up is going to definitely make her a strong competitor for it. I'm just going to go with the Atkins because of the schedule they play, and they've
only lost once.
Yeah,
they lost to University by 2, I think it was.
Yeah, and if they win a state title, then I think you definitely got to go with Wayne. But and you're going to have Shaylin Steele and the Atkins girl will go head to head on D&D Sports, so we'll get a good look at them there. Now 15th region. I see the Maestro having a hard time thinking of this one.
I mean, it's. Trinity's the first pick, I think, but the problem is you got Kiara right there who would steal votes.
Yep.
Then you got Martin County, Latham Williams playing unbelievable. I'm gonna go with my girl Riley Joe at Floyd Central. She's throwing up monster numbers, double every night. I'm gonna go Trinity.
Yeah, I believe I'm gonna do the same. I feel like McDonald's All-American nominee. Southern Miss commit. I mean, she can play ball. One of the better girls players that I've ever watched, Trinity Rowe. That's no discredit to any of her teammates. Kira Thornsberry can play, but I feel like that I would be not very smart not to take Miss Rowe from Pikeville.
Well, let's go with this, Darryl McCoy. Let's break it down. Who would be if you take out a individual talent? How good would that team be? Okay,
Emmy Priest.
I said I missed her. Didn't you see me? I missed her.
Right. So you already stole that one. Right. So I was going to mention her, but your girl right there, Riley Joe Compton. If you take Riley Joe Compton out of Floyd Central, how competitive would they be? I'm not taking anything away from the rest of the players. I'm just saying she's that important and valuable to the team. If you take Trinity Rowe out of the Pikeville lineup, how good will Pikeville still be? Pikeville would still be the 15th region favorite. That's just my view. Now, listen, I love Trinity Rowe. Me and her dad side by side working our kids out for years. I just talked to her dad a couple of days ago. I love Trinity Rowe. So now let me rewind. I'm probably going to have to go with Trinity Rowe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think Riley Joe Compton and I think Emmy Priest mean more to their squad.
Right. I'm going to tell you.
You get into the MVP versus the best player.
Player of the year MVP.
Right, yeah. You see that a lot in the NBA, especially, not to get off topic or anything, but just for the sole fact of talking about the MVP versus best player.
Yep.
Most valuable player doesn't always equal best player, as you understand.
And I'm going to go another one of the girls I had the pleasure of coaching, Sophie Atkins down in Lawrence County, throwing up monster numbers too.
Yes, that's. I'm glad you said her. I think Emmy Priest. To me,
and I missed Emmy. I agree.
To me, there's three names, and I think it's Trinity, Kara, and Emmy Priest is my three. I think those are the ones. Kara and Trinity obviously are going to pull votes from each other. I don't know. I mean, when you look, there are two different players. I think Trinity has to have players around her, because she's kind of that. To steal Thomas's nickname, the Maestro. She's the orchestrator of that offense, and I think when she's the ultimate point guard. Kiara, I think she could be the Kinsley Feltner type player. If she was with another system and had the ball in her hands, the records that she would have put up scoring would have been crazy if she would have stayed at Belfry.
I agree.
But she wanted to win.
She bought into that team mentality.
That's it.
And man, it says so much about her.
It does.
As you don't see that a lot out of young. And they're still kids to me as older I get, but out of these young adults, man, to sacrifice being the star to come in and to win, that's something you hope every kid does, but it don't happen often.
Yeah, I still think, I think it's going to come down to the wire these next, the region tournament, I think will really decide, in the 15th region, which one of them. I think Kiara is playing a more vital role, and she's that lockdown defender too this year. So it's going to be interesting. I still think you got the rest of the season to kind of see which one of them two is going to jump out as the leader there in Pikeville. And I think that two is going to be the player of the year in the 15th region. Whichever one's more valuable from here to the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
So how many minutes? And that's going to take us to the end of this segment. When we come back, I know Mr. Hoskins is interested in seeing the top 10. Come right back and join us here on the Grind Session.
If you got a big job to get done, don't just trust any flagging service. Call Diamond Flagging Service. Diamond Flagging Service keeps your community safe while also making sure it stays moving. Give Diamond Flagging Service a call today for their services. They also offer amazing job opportunities. Diamond Flagging Services, proud supporter of the Mountain Athletes.
Looking for a new healthcare provider? Come see us at Tug Valley Wellness Clinic. We take all patients from the ages 2 and up. Our staff has over 30 years of medical experience. We do everything from DOT physicals, wellness exams, adult and child, walk-in visits, and more. Call us today at 304-236-3601 or reach us Monday through Friday.
Hi everybody, Dave Baker here for Citizens Bank in Kentucky. Do you want to love your car even more? How about putting extra cash in your pocket each month by refinancing with new low rates at CBK? It is fast, it's easy. All you have to do is log on to wearecitizens.bank.
Looking for a new pharmacy? Howard Family Pharmacy offers fast and friendly service and convenient drive-thrus at both locations.
I started at Double Quick as an associate when I was still in high school, and I quickly realized that there was a career in front of me.
Whenever I was a store manager, I graduated college and I expected to leave about a year after graduation. I knew that this was a place that I could continue to grow, I could continue to be challenged both personally and professionally, and that's the reason that I'm still here today.
Start your career today at Double Quick.
Apply at doublequick.com and start your career today.
Come on down to Valley Pharmacy, where the staff treats you like family from the second you walk through the door. Valley Pharmacy will take care of all your pharmaceutical needs. Valley Pharmacy wants to wish the Shelby Valley Wildcats the best of luck in tonight's action.
And we are back here at Glenn Martin Hammond's office. We got Kevin Keathley to my right, the maestro Thomas Rainey on the boards. We got 14th Region's own Bryce Hoskins in the house, Pike football player. Yeah. And I'm Darryl McCoy as you're watching the #1 high school basketball show in the mountains, the Grind Session. Got a lot of comments coming in. Thomas, who's this segment sponsored by?
Jim Mar Services.
Jim Mar Services right now, guys. If you're looking for a job and a lucrative job in the coal fields, a lot of people was run out of the area. Obama's war on coal pushed them out. Well, now you can come back because Jim Mar Services, they're offering great opportunity to support your family with good wages.
Yeah.
So as we're sitting here, we see Martin County with the sweep over McGoffin.
What's the score?
Huge.
Don't know the score yet.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, the maestro will get it. As I'm sure if you don't get it, you can check with Billy Davis. He'll probably let you know what it is. As I'm sitting here looking, a lot of comments coming in. Looks like where was that at? Keaton Brown says, when do y'all talk middle school? We talk middle school in the second segment. You got to go back and check it out. Sanders Turner says he liked and shared it. So guys, it's come to that time. Well, we got Nate and Tiffany. Hoskins says the girl from Powell County is a good player as well. So I can't remember her name. Yeah, there you go. That's why we got Bryce Hoskins on the board, coach.
she had a 50-point game this year.
Wow.
The Cottle girl did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kyra Cottle, yeah. I don't know how I forgot about her, man. She's a great player.
And don't forget, guys, hit that share button. Somebody will win $50 code hard cash at the conclusion of the show. And also keep them comments coming because we want to answer your questions. If you got topics you want us to talk about, leave them in the comment section below. But right now, we have the boys' top 10. And it's going to be interesting what these two fellas have to say.
Well, hang on just a second. I'll have to go get it. You all keep talking.
Okay,
yeah, boys top 10, Darryl McCoy. And a lot's went down since the last time me and you have been around here at the grind session. So a lot of wins, a lot of losses, a lot of changes. And so it's going to be interesting to see where this top 10 falls here this week because a lot of different prime matchups, by the way. Big time district rivalry games.
Well, we talked, a lot of teams, you see right now, have that all-A hangover.
Yeah.
From the all-A, if you talk to any coach around, they'll say, the 2 weeks after the all-A is kind of hell week. I mean, you take and do everything you can to try to get your team back together. And as the maestro mentioned, even your JV players, not only are they not getting played, but you're going into district play.
Right.
A lot of teams ain't even playing JV games now. A lot of them do boy-girls doubleheaders. So,
right.
It's really rough to see, what some of the teams are going through. But, if you come out on top, and when you go in the district and region tournament, if you're clicking, then that's all you can ask for.
That's right.
So, it definitely be interesting. And,
I'm trying.
And Darryl, I think we're 2.5 weeks out from the end of the season for a lot of teams. 23rd ends it. For some teams, the 20th ends it. So 2 weeks to go. So this is we only have 2 more rankings coming out following this. And so it's getting down to the nitty and the gritty, Bryce Hoskins.
Yes, it is. I'm excited to see how it plays out, towards this point of the season.
Yeah.
You start separating the men from the boys. You start separating them. And, I said in an interview about 2 years ago when I was asked about March and the intangibles of March. Another hill I'm willing to die on is the best team doesn't always win the regional tournament. A team, I've seen it so many times, it's the hottest team. It's always the hottest team. The team that has it pulled together, the team that is playing the right kind of ball, that's the team that goes to rep always.
Yep, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and as you look here, James Jen Case says most improved team in the 15th region. We'll talk about that last segment. Ethan Lent says the Floyd Central Lawrence County game will decide the regular season championship in the 58th district. We will pick that out. That'll be one of the games we pick at the end. James Jen Case says, who's the dark horse that can make some noise? We'll answer all these questions here in the final segments. As Sanders Turner says, guys, Turner Sports Group supports you guys. Go like the page and make sure. I said really appreciate all you guys do. So
yep, absolutely.
Yep. So do we?
All right, we got it ready. Reading them
go.
comments was perfect, Darryl McCoy.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The boys' top 10. Waiting no more. Number 10, Martin County. Number 9, Lawrence County. Number 8, Knott County Central. Number 7, Pike Central. 6 is Chapmanville. 5 is Breathitt County. 4 is Ashland. 3 is the Pikeville Panthers. The Hazard Bulldogs come in at number 2, and Boyd County sets atop the D&D Sports Mountain Top 10. Others receiving votes at right outside the top 10 is McGoffin County, Tug Valley, Rowan County, Logan, Perry Central, and Fleming County. All right, where'd we mess up?
And if we have this every week. We say best team or rankings, right?
Yeah.
So this is rankings. This isn't best team.
No, this isn't power rankings.
Right.
This is rankings.
Right.
What have you done for me lately?
Right.
Where they're at right now.
Right. So I'm not going to debate who the better team is, because there's a couple I say, all right, yeah, I got full faith in them. A couple things. I would have Pikeville at number 2 over Hazard. And again, I love that Hazard Bulldog team. And Brett, that probably about right, because they did lose to Hazard, so now they drop again rankings. And but here's the one, right? So I'd have Lawrence County. Watch out, Pike Central. I have Lawrence County ahead of Pike Central right now, rankings. I think that Lawrence County is better than Pike Central.
Well, but now we're going back to the 2A. Pike Central beat Lawrence County, right? Wasn't that who beat?
Yeah, they did.
So.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think, but it was super close. It was a 1 or 2 point game. If I'm not, I'll look it up.
Lawrence has only got 4 losses on the year.
And RPI is what? Are they still 1, or is Pikeville
2.
overtaking that?
They're 1 or 2.
They're number 2 in the RPI.
But me, the RPI. I'd rather just throw it in the trash.
I agree.
I think it don't really tell the story in the whole group. But as I sit here, I'm gonna disagree with you there.
I was wrong. McGoffin County
that's
beat Lawrence County up there by 3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, we had that.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say Pike Central should be 1 more ahead of Chapmanville.
Okay.
And that would just be, be mine. Not Central got that big win over Morgan County the other night. Morgan County obviously has a couple of injuries. One happened during the game, and one happened. That's making no excuse. That was a huge win for Knott County.
Yeah.
I think Casey Huff and the crews got them clicking again.
Right.
There and Breathitt. That's tough because I've said it just like the player of the year. They've been every week. I go back and forth with them and Hazard, who's the best team. And when you take and look at the end of the day, we've seen all the players around Sperry step up, and that's why I think that's why most people thought Breathitt, they're back in the mix as maybe that dominant team in the 14th region. Well, as it's coming along, I think Hazard's also having everybody else step up. And, you got Eversole and Sperry, obviously the 2 stars. But the one thing I give Hazard is they got Seth Cottle, who is a co-star, and that's one thing, it's with Breathitt, they're built a little bit different. It's Sperry and the band. They don't really have that co-star. So, I don't know. They're both very well coached. It's gonna be tough whenever they meet. That's a game that definitely don't want to miss. But Boyd and Ashland, Boyd County, I think solved that equation the last couple times because they swept Ashland in the regular season, and then Pikeville. I'm go ahead.
I was going to say Pikeville beat Boyd by 20.
Yeah, and Pikeville's playing their best basketball right now.
I was going to say though, but it was at home in the PIT, so it does mean a lot.
Yeah, I think if you're going power rankings, you would go Pikeville. Not Central also beat Pikeville. So it's. I like everything the way that it is, except for maybe, I might would put Pike Central ahead, and then obviously I think Martin County is going to continue to climb this list. I think if you went power rankings, Martin County, is right there at 5 or 6 in power rankings. If you went power rankings instead of just rankings. But, others receiving votes, I know Thomas is going to make a strong argument for McGoffin County. Tug Valley, they was ranked number 1 in the state, and they took that loss to Martin County. I think that was kind of, fresh on people's minds whenever the rankings.
I think more of the loss to Pike Central than
I'm glad you said
to
that.
Martin County. I think they bounced back when they played Martin County. I know Martin County won by 10 or 12 or something, but I mean the Pike Central game was really the one that opened my eyes. Ooh.
Yeah, Pike Central, they laid one on Tug Valley and, caught a lot of people off guard on that one. But like you always say, single A ball is different, and, I still think Tug Valley is going to win a single A state title.
Oh, they're going to contend. There is no doubt about it. I mean, they are that good in single A West Virginia.
And the Logan Wildcats, you'll find out what they're made of this week in a 4-game. They got Lincoln County, then Chapmanville, Tug Valley, and South Charleston all in the next 4 games.
Wow.
So, if you can take and split them, you're doing good. If you could somehow go 3-1, then it's miraculous. If you sweep that, then all of a sudden, you're back to, okay, we got a state title contender here if you're Logan. So,
I'm going to say it. That's what I like about West Virginia. I like the different classes. I know that's a whole other subject for a different day, but I do. I like it because it gives more people a shot at winning a state title.
So if you had your way, you would do the classes.
I sure would.
Not me. I think that's what makes Kentucky so special.
That's just me, though. I guess I'm different.
Every year I go to both state tournaments, and I think the difference is in Kentucky. When you look at, in Kentucky, the 15th region is what it's talked about, or the region titles is what's talked about as the granddaddy, because most schools in the mountains know, very seldom do we got a chance to win against them powerhouses downstate. Every now and then there's that outlier that comes along, but, it's all about the region titles in Kentucky. To me, I just think, if something happens like happened Elijah Justice in them senior year, Paintsville, whenever they was able to be a single A school and win that, that's just a great storyline. Shelby Valley and Paintsville back in the day when they won.
Elijah Justice, Shelby Valley, though. I remember watching those games when I was a little kid.
Yeah, that's and we got a man in the house here that knows what it's like to make that Sweet 16. So is there any better feeling than winning that region championship?
I would say maybe getting married or having your first kid. Maybe. I think I like the list. I would make maybe 3 changes to the list in my opinion. I would flip. Let me switch over here.
I'll swing it back over.
Yeah, I would say I would flip. I would flip Knott and Chapmanville. I think Knott County already beat Pike Central this year. I think Knott County's playing really good basketball right now. I would also flip Martin County and Lawrence County, and I would flip Pikeville and Hazard. I like Pikeville the way they play, and that's no discredit to Hazard. Great team. I think Hazard's #1 team in the 14th region as it stands today. Maybe now when teams are playing their best ball, that's a different story for a different day. Whatever, but. Breathitt County, they're tired right now. Like I told you all off stream, 6 games, 9 days. Those are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids you got to think about. So fatigue is real. Coming off all A run, coming off all A state, 6 games in 9 days after that point. Breathitt County is, but when you look at it, Hazard and Breathitt County. That's going to be the tornado and the volcano that hit each other come March, as we know it. But like I said, I'm going to flip Chapmanville and Knott. I feel like Knott County is playing really good basketball. I really like what Casey Huff's doing there. Jaden Huff, Drake Sloan, Drake Haddock, Jaden Sloan, Jaden's. Boys, I can't talk today.
Jaden Huff,
Drake Sloan, and Hunter Haddix. Yeah. Those 3 kids, they're playing really good basketball. I really like the way they play. And the Ambergy kid, man, he just hustles so hard. I love the way he plays. So Knott County is going to be a dark horse in the 14th region. If the moon and stars align, they could also make it to Rupp. You never know.
Now, Bryce, you know about the 14th region. Do you know where the Yonts kid went that was at Knott earlier this year?
Yonts. Who?
Yeah, his last name was Yonts. He was there at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
I don't either. He was on the team the other day, so I was wondering where he went.
I don't even know if I know who that is, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll say this though, Darryl McCoy and Bryce. You talk about dark horses and you talk about Hazard and Breathitt. Well, our 14th region is going to be held at Powell County this year.
Yeah.
And so watch out, because you go to Powell County, that's a tough place to play.
It is, yeah.
You got a couple teams could get out of there. Powell County's just good enough on their home floor that you could see them in a 14th region championship.
Powell County played Breathitt close the other night.
And that's a long drive for some of our 14th region teams.
And see, that close game is what I go back to is fatigue. Is 6 games in 9 days. That Powell County game fell into that category. I mean, Breathitt is exhausted. Yeah. I mean, that they're so tired. I mean, like guys that played. I mean, just me personally. I know, just coming off of recently graduated. Like my junior year, man, 4 games in 4 days playing in the All-A state tournament. We come back, I mean, we took a few beatings right after that. I mean, Perry County, that Perry Central, they whooped us at Perry and stuff. Ended up we went to Fort Thomas Highlands and got one put on us and stuff. But that fatigue is real. So
it's real.
Towards the end of the season, that's when you start seeing games getting canceled, games getting moved. Mm-hmm. You only want to play maybe 1 to 2 games a week towards the end of the year. You want to be fresh, have your legs under you. You want to be playing your best ball come early March.
Well, we talked about it, the snow. Look what the snow did to us, a week off, and then all of a sudden now so many games are crammed in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams right now, the back end of their schedules, game heavy. And I'll credit, there's a couple teams in the 15th region that they've got their games pretty well spaced out. It's Prestonburg. Prestonburg's got 6 games remaining on their schedule. They end the 20th. So they were front end heavy in this middle part that we're just getting through if you're Prestonsburg. So a lot of teams, though, are back end heavy, Darryl McCoy. There's like 10 games.
Yeah, it was good schedule by Parsley, doing the way he did. But, Betsy Lane was one of them teams that, I know like 2 weeks ago they had like 22 games left.
Yeah, that was insane.
I was like, that's crazy.
Right.
But when everybody else had 10, they had like 22 or something like that. I don't know.
They finally caught up. They've got 20 games in because they're 10 and 10.
Yeah.
But they played a bunch of games here lately.
Another team I don't want to leave out is the Commodores. Perry Central started off. Rough start. It was not looking very promising. Then with the loss of Ridge Beverly, whatever happened there. But Perry Central loses to Hazard by 3, and that end run that they had. You all was on that game.
Yeah.
That end run they had, they weren't playing the scrubs.
No.
That end run that they had came against the A team.
Yeah.
So Perry Central, maybe they're hitting their stride at the right time, guys. Who knows? That's it. Right now. I see 4 teams in the 14th region that could pull it out. Now, will they? That's a question soon to be answered. But can they? Oh, absolutely.
I think there's 4 teams that's got a chance. I think there's 3 that I could see. Powers with, Perry being the dark horse. I think obviously, Hazard, Knott, and Breathitt are the 3 big dogs.
Yeah.
And but whenever you're sitting there and looking, you're talking about switching Pikeville and Hazard. One thing that I will say in that right there in that argument is Pikeville or Hazard does have the one kid that can match up with Fitzer and cause him issues.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Eversole 6'5", 6'6". He's a big kid, but 6'9", that's a different story, sometimes. And like I said earlier, I want to see Fitzer, the drop step and moving people out of his way, man. He's such a force. I want to see him utilize that because he has so much potential. I really love watching the kid play.
I want to go up to YMCA and see Bryce Hoskins 1v1 the pitcher.
I don't know. If he can give me maybe 2 weeks to prepare so I don't pull my hammy or something. I ain't played basketball in a while, so I'd have to. We're keeping that inside the front 2 hashes too. That's a paint only.
Now as you're sitting and looking at it's tough. I do think that Perry, the one thing that I thought Hazard done a really good job is limiting Carter Castle.
Yeah.
Carter Castle, he's kind of that. the secret. Everybody focuses on Kaiser Sloan. Everybody focuses on Kaiser
and Triton.
Yeah. So Carter Castler gets a lot more from what they want. The reason I like Hazard and the reason I'm keeping him at number 2 is the Kenny Higgins kid. He continues to develop and come along. And that kid, just the way that he hustles, the extra possessions he gives, he really crashes the offensive glass. When you take a look and you got 2 bigs like Eversole and Higgins, it's hard for teams to have 2 quality bigs like them two.
Higgins does a nice job where you can step him out.
Yeah.
He's a nice passer, screener, pitcher, handoff guy. So he does a lot of different things. You can move him and interchange and elbow, perimeter, and on the post. So I'm with you there. I like Higgins. Yeah,
I think Higgins is a good player. The only thing that my fault on Higgins is. He has a lot of boneheaded technicals. I'm not trying to degrade the kid whatsoever.
No,
that's a part of basketball. You saw in the Knott County game running back down the floor, big shoulder check and stuff. That stuff. That I've seen it before and I've heard about it and watched games like old games and stuff that loses you ball games. Close game and then you make a boneheaded decision like that. 7-point swing in some cases. I've seen it happen before. So if Higgins can. If Higgins can limit his mind to one goal, and that's the win, and throw aside any personal agenda, then Hazard is just going to get that much better.
Yeah, I think where he's just an ultimate competitor, and it gets the best of him sometimes. We seen him pick up 5 fouls in the game we watched a little early, and you hate to see it because I think that game could have been a little easier win if Higgins could have stayed on the floor. Yeah. But I still think Higgins is a little raw, so I give him credit to where he's come from the beginning of the year to now. He's really developed a lot since the first time we seen him.
Yeah. I agree.
So
I agree definitely. But there's a big difference between competitor and then letting your mind get the best of you. You know, and I've seen it so many times, but. You got to throw aside any personal agenda and do what it takes to win.
All right, we got some great comments. Bryce, you're running for president, that's what I heard.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Make America great again.
Heard Ridge may be on the move. I'm not going to play into that, but that would be interesting to see. Prairie Central's turned the corner and nearly beat Hazard the other night, says Sanders Turner. And Jess Miller says, I believe Prairie Central is the dark horse in the 14th region.
I agree.
I agree.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, I can too. And Kevin Stepp said, I think Pikeville wins it all if Heath doesn't go down. Talked about in the region. We was talking to 15th region.
Did you say he was coming back?
Yeah, he should be back. Talking to his father the other night, said he believes he'll be back at the this week.
He said this said if Heath don't go down.
Oh, okay. If he don't,
they could have won the region.
If he don't get hurt again.
And not Central, like I said, they're the ones to keep an eye on because they're going to go into that 14th region under the radar because everybody's looking to the two big dogs, Hazard and Breathitt, and then everybody's looking at Perry as that dark horse. So Knott's going to slide in there with no pressure.
I agree.
I really think as good as they're playing right now that there's a good chance that you could see that come to Hyman just as much as Hazard and Breathitt.
Knott County might order to just go to Winchester and get a hotel or something. That's about a 2-hour drive. Well, I know there was a big last time the regional tournament was at Powell County. Was my 8th grade year, and there was a big ordeal. Letcher County drew the early game.
Some shenanigans going on.
Yeah, Letcher County drew the 6 o'clock game, and it's a 2.5 hour drive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so Letcher County drew the 6 o'clock game, and it's a 2.5 hour drive. And they raised pure, craziness over that because 2.5 hour drive, you can get out of school 3:30. You can't leave till 4. Sometimes get a bus driver. They're showing up past game time. So
they raised 2.5 kinds of hell, didn't they?
Yeah. Raising Cain.
There's some things. Hey, listen, over the years, going back 20 years, when Powell County's hosted, Bryce, listen, some tomfoolery at Darryl McCoy, as we like to say.
That was a lot back in the day at every school.
Yep.
Every school back.
That still burns people in Jackson to this day.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be interesting. And when we come back, we got a lot of accomplishments that happened over the past week, accolades that we're going to mention, and then we're going to pick some ball games. So, guys, you don't want to miss this segment coming up. And also, hurry and hit that like and share button, guys, because I promise you, somebody's going to win $50 thanks to an upset fan. Come right back and join us.
Here at Appalachian Medical, our team has extensive experience in dealing with respiratory disease. That's why we specialize in respiratory products and disease management. We want to bring our knowledge and know-how to help patients live a healthier life. Appalachian Medical was developed by clinical professionals. We have more than 30 years of combined experience in respiratory disease management, case management, critical care, and more. Our respiratory therapists are skilled and compassionate. With offices in Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, let us be the ones you trust with your medical health care. Smoking Hot Vape Shop in Inez, Kentucky carries a wide selection of disposable vapes, juice, mods, batteries, and accessories, as well as a great selection of Delta products. Smoking Hot guarantees authenticity of products and allows you to try before you buy on disposable products using a sanitary test tip. Open 7 days a week. Stop in and check them out. Find them on Facebook or visit their website, SmokingHotKY.com, for complete hours. Stop by and see your friends at the end of Route 3.
Come see us at Trailhead Bar and Grill in Macon, West Virginia, where the locals come to hang out and the trail riders come to visit.
Follow us on Facebook page for our daily specials. We're open 7 days a week here at Trailhead Bar and Grill.
You can give them a call at 681-308-6088. Make sure you follow them on their Facebook page to keep up with all their daily specials and for business and operation hours. Trailhead Bar and Grill, located downtown Matewan, West Virginia.
If you've recently had a loved one pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones. Come visit us at Castle's Jewelry and Co-Run today. We got a history of making sure our clients' needs and wants are met. Castle's Jewelry has a large selection of rings, necklaces, bracelets, and more. Remember, friends come and go. Jewelry lasts forever.
Start the new year off right by making your health a priority. Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance, Little Flower Clinic, Quantum Healthcare, and East Kentucky Chiropractic can help you do just that. We have a great staff of professionals offering a variety of services like medical, dental, behavioral health, mat program, case management, chiropractic, radiology, and lab testing. Little Flower Clinic offers free transportation for Perry County patients. Call to make an appointment, 487-9505. Quantum Healthcare, 436-0711. And East Kentucky Chiropractic, 487-8255.
We are back here at Glenn Martin Hammond's office, guys. Thomas, who's this segment sponsored by?
Oh, you caught me off guard. Let's go with we ain't gonna pop up here. How about our good friends from Made to Crave?
Made to Crave, 2 locations, Prestonsburg and in Pikeville. Make sure you guys a good healthy option. Fine Mexican cuisine.
Darryl McCoy, listen, I don't know if it's healthy or not for me, but I get that steak and white rice bowl with some soup beans on top of it. Oh man, Darryl McCoy.
Made to Crave, guys. Make sure you guys and listen. As we're getting started, we may have a special grind session episode at one of the finest restaurants in Pikeville coming up soon. So I know Bryce Hoskins is going to want to join us in that one.
Yeah, I will definitely be there, I promise.
Guys, we got Breathitt County's own Bryce Hoskins in the house. Kevin Keathley to my right. I'm Darryl McCoy, and we got the maestro backing on the boards, Coach. So, that's why this thing's going off with a hitch.
Great to have the maestro back. I missed him. I ain't seen the maestro probably 4 or 5 weeks.
It's been a long time.
Well, Maestro's been busting their chops, and he's wanting to talk about the 107 that Floyd Central put on Prestonsburg. So, honestly, that right there, we was there covering it. They come out the first quarter. decided the ball game. There was, little defense played in that first quarter, and really it was offensive boards. Brody Buck was the big secret. I mean, I know his stats wasn't what Braden Moore dropped, but in that first quarter, nobody kept him off the boards, and I really thought that rebounding in that first half was the key.
Well,
go ahead, Tom.
I looked at the stats and Prestonburg dominated the rebounds, but you're right.
That's
that first
crazy.
quarter,
Yeah,
that first quarter was when all the
that a lot.
putbacks was.
Yeah,
but I just like to talk about all the defense that was played. What is it, 190, 190 points between
almost 200 points scored between both teams. Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of points.
Yeah,
if you like points.
And it's one, in that Floyd Central they wanted that win more than anything because they went to Prestonsburg, and Floyd Central thought, in their heads is, listen, we was undermanned.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Prestonsburg. We didn't have Braden Moore, so, and they didn't have Dawson Moore in this one. Dawson Moore was back. Thank the Lord that he got a healthy, MRI or whatever on his heart, and he's back because, that's going to, they'll need him in postseason play. So, but that right there was a huge win for Alan Joe Moore and the Jags. I mean, and it put them in spot to where they're going to go into the game Tuesday night with a chance to win the 58th district thanks to that win.
That's a huge opportunity because Lawrence County looked like no matter what goes down, they were going to win outright 58th district title. Going to be important for that 4th seed. Who wins that number 1 seed, Thomas Rainey? So this is a big-time game, implications coming up.
Well, especially with Betsy Lane beating Lawrence.
Right. Yep.
And now Prestonsburg has Betsy Lane twice in the next week, right?
Yeah.
The next 2 weeks, a week and a half. So it's going to get interesting in the 58th. We said it all year. The 58th is the most balanced.
If I'm Prestonsburg, I want Lawrence. I'm avoiding Floyd Central. I want Lawrence in that first round because even though Lawrence has swept them, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So I would rather have that, and in that first matchup, Prestonsburg, they led the bigger part of the game by double digits
till the last minute.
Yeah, and ended up big clutch shots by Logan Ratliff, Hayden Perry, and crew.
Well,
So
you remember the first game, Prestonsburg had them.
Yeah.
I mean, Prestonsburg had Lawrence beat.
Up 10 with 3 to play.
Yeah, they had them.
So
that's a long time ago. That was early in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesse Miller says, I was a part of that robbery in 2003, said in Powell County. Said it was horrible.
It was, yeah. Him and his twin brother, Jason.
Mason Hall says Betsy Lane over Paintsville tonight. Region victories over Johnson Central, Lawrence, and Paintsville in the past week. Wow, Betsy Lane clicking.
I'm telling you now.
What's the score on that Paintsville game, Mason?
Let us know.
Betsy Lane won. That's what he said.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I was just wondering.
And that's surprising. Credit them. And I've thought one of the big secrets is Tanner Hall. I thought Tanner Hall is starting to be a more part of what they're doing, and I think he's a big part. And speaking of Mason Hall, Coach, has there been I tell you, one of the biggest surprises have been Braden Hall and what he's doing on that varsity squad. He's coming in playing some good minutes.
Well, what's happening is Coach Howard, from what I can see, and Mason can correct me, is it looks like he's able to play Braden in multiple spots on the floor.
Yeah.
So at times he's putting Braden on the back end of that zone as a rebounder. And it can put him on the perimeter, knock down shots. So he's fit in nicely with what Coach Howard's wanting to do. The thing I like about Betsy Lane, they're a lot like Floyd Central, and I've said this preseason, I thought Betsy Lane would be one of the top 4 to 5 teams in the region, is they've got an Andrew Kidd, and then they've got a Carter Parsons, a Tanner Hall, a Cameron Piente. Then you bring in a Braden Hall and an Isaiah Allen. So it is a matchup nightmare for any other team, just like Floyd Central. They put 4 guards on the floor, and then you got to go guard Brody Buck, who can get up and down the floor.
Yeah, who can run.
Yeah.
And they done that without Andrew Kidd in the second half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
He was out due to personal issues. So, that's impressive, man. Right now, Mike Howard has them clicking at the right time.
Well, look. Floyd Central lost to Paintsville. Prestonsburg lost to Paintsville. Now Betsy Lane beats Paintsville.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, that 58th is tightening up.
Our guy Parker Watts tuning in. Coach, me and you went and seen Parker against Huntington St. Joe. That Coach got to go down and call a game at Huntington St. Joe. Is there a wilder atmosphere?
It got crazy. Darryl McCoy at the end of the game, he had to go down and get somebody. He was getting them for player of the game, and it's like Stan Van Gundy from the 90s. He was hanging on for dear life. And I thought I was going to have to go down there and get him because it got that out of control at the end of the game.
Scorekeeper got ejected. There was books thrown. There was, didn't the scorekeeper come back out of his car, come back in the gym, got his wife at the end of the game, got her out. It was just a good atmosphere, fun game. I mean, there was no violence, but
if you've never been in that gym, Bryce, you need to go.
I'll make a trip over.
No, I'm telling you, it is just seeing the banners of the Gatorade Player of the Years that's went to back when it was Huntington Prep back in the day. Just those banners is something else.
It's impressive, man. And what Todd Maynard's doing there with that young group. I mean, got 3 freshman starters, 2 sophomores. I mean, they got, was it 1 senior on the whole team or 1 junior? Either way. I mean, it's really impressive what they're doing there at Huntington St. Joe, and getting that big win over Tulsa was highly impressive. Yeah. Huge. So I really hope. I know Coach Maynard said after the game that they wasn't going to go to Tulsa, but I hope that game happens.
I hope it does. It was supposed to already have happened, right?
Was it tonight?
Friday. It was supposed to happen that Friday.
Oh, well let us know, Parker Watts, if that game ended up happening or not. And
Parker Watts was my pick for West Virginia Player of the Year, so
I like his toughness.
That kid can put up numbers. I see the windmills and stuff.
I know why. I know why he voted for you. Wow. They got the same haircut.
That's
true. Same hairdo.
Those mullets got to keep each other in check.
But as you sit and look, how about Peyton Davis picking up and Braden McKenzie picked up offers from Alice Lloyd.
The Eagles.
Got word that that Davis got his offer because maybe Coach Cornett was watching the game on D&D Sports Network.
Hey, Darryl McCoy, what about that?
Interesting. How many coaches did we see watching that game? Well, I know at one time that I seen 4. That was in one of the first games, and if you had 4 in, I think it was the middle school game. Whenever I seen that, so if you had 4 in the middle school game, imagine how many coaches. And for a kid to get an offer, that tells you what D&D Sports does.
You mean he didn't get it watching Huddle?
Oh yeah, He didn't pay us $10.
Listen, and I want to get on to Peyton, but I listen every night after D&D. A college coach calls the same college coach calls my son, talks about the game.
Yeah.
Every night. No joke about it. Now, no violations there, ladies and gentlemen. But every night. But
keep the name quiet.
Yeah. But Peyton Davis, Darryl McCoy, he's one of your favorites. He's one of my favorites. Yep. That kid is in at 5 a.m. busting his tail, working hard, and unfortunately. Dre Duff went down. One of my most favorite, most dynamic players in the 15th region, Bryce. But the job that Peyton Davis has done, helping keep that team going and moving along, tremendous. Congratulations, Peyton Davis. I'm very proud of
Peyton Davis had big shoes to fill, man. And to come in of that game and to pick up the slack that, the injury of Dre Duff left behind is huge. And while he's at it, he picks up a college offer. I mean, how big is that? Yeah. I mean, how big is that for a kid to come in with little to no starting experience and just pick up the slack like that and keep Martin County? Maybe they're not playing at the same level they was with Dre Duff, but, your identity changed like we talked about with Kentucky. Different lineups, you got to go to different bread and butter. So I'm proud of Peyton Davis. He's a good player. I've watched him, played against him a few times throughout the years. Yeah. But now I'm watching him, and I'm proud of how he's progressed. And I know he can shoot the lights out of it.
Yeah, he can.
So I wish him luck in his future, and hopefully he makes Pippa passes great again.
Well, they, and of course he's a D&D Mountain Elite player, so couldn't be more happy for Peyton. As you're sitting here, we got Nate Hoskins says, pretty sure Patrick Patterson went to Huntington Prep. They played. He went to Huntington High.
Yeah, he went to Huntington High.
He went with O.J. Mayo and crew there. So great combination back in them days. We got let's see, Emmy Priest 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds.
Wow.
That's a hard accomplishment.
That's a really nice feat.
I mean, to get 1,000 rebounds, how many does that?
Yeah.
Eli Johnson, 2,000 point club. I think we all knew it. He had a huge amount of them before he left Menifee County. Then comes to Pikeville and has had a great career ever since. Couldn't be more happy. Couldn't have happened to a better kid.
Yeah.
So then we go and look. Travis Perry, 5,000 points since the last time. I mean, did anybody think King Kelly's record would ever be broken, let alone be broken, shattered?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. So couldn't be more happier. Travis, very well-deserving kid.
He's only like the 10th person to ever do that. 5,000
in the nation.
10th or 11th person or something to ever do that.
He's still the second leading scorer all time in the state of Kentucky, behind Whitney Creech.
That's true.
So
averaging 55 points a game. That's wild.
Yeah. Kinsey Maynard enters the transfer portal, and where does she end up at, Thomas?
She'll see Bryce at UPike.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got Kinsey Maynard, led the nation in block shots her sophomore year with 8.7 blocks a game. This young lady was part of a Belfry championship team as a kicker.
Oh, wow.
And then she goes to Pikeville, leads them to 2 region titles, 2 appearances at Rupp. And then she goes to Alice Lloyd, had some injuries. And then she got healthy, was having a really good season. Now she gets to come back home, she says, and will be playing for Clifton Williams and the Bears.
Yeah. Awesome. So excited for her to join our girls program. Yeah. We have a good team. The addition of her, hopefully they can do some good things over there.
Couldn't be more happy for them. Corey Flincham, 1,000 point club already for Wolfe County.
As a freshman.
Yeah, as a freshman. So
wow. He's the first freshman in the state to reach the 1,000 point plateau. And there's a couple of players within the next couple of games that will most likely reach that plateau as well coming.
So first one in 1,000 to 1,000
in KHSA in the state 2027 class.
Very impressive. Braden Hall had 9 points, 4 for 4 free throws. Did we ever get a final score on that Betsy Lane game? But
so 1 by 4 or something.
So 1 by 4. So as we're sitting here,
Parsons had 30.
Wow.
Career high, most likely.
That's probably.
Yeah. Carter Parsons had 30. So hats off to him. And as we're sitting here looking, I think that leads us. So that's going to get us to the time in the show where we're going to pick some games.
All right.
So, Maestro, do you got them? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to go right off our schedule for the majority of them.
Okay.
Some great games. Let's start tomorrow. Lawrence County, Floyd Central.
To decide the 58th district.
Yep.
Who you got, Bryce?
I'm gonna take Floyd County on this game. I think they shoot the ball really well. I like Lawrence County. I had a chance to call their game with these guys, over when they played Breathitt. Lawrence County, man, no discredit to them. They play super hard. A little bit undersized, but for the way they play, they do it really well. I think Floyd Central shoots the ball really good, though. I see them, they're kind of getting hot, put up 104 points versus Prestonsburg. But I'm gonna take Floyd Central in that game. Maybe a little bit of an underdog in that district, but I think Floyd Central is gonna come out with a win.
Where's the game being held?
Floyd Central.
I got Floyd Central.
I'm gonna go with Floyd Central too. I think that not because Gunnar Woods coming back is a big pickup for Lawrence County, but I think it being at Floyd Central, I look and I see 4 losses on Lawrence County. It's more of they're due for one. So I think Floyd Central coming off a high, dropping 107. So I'm gonna go with the Jaguars.
Well, y'all looking at me. I love Chandler Thompson as a coach,
coach.
And I know he's backed into a corner. But my heart's with Floyd Central. I'm going with Lawrence.
Going with Lawrence. Uh-oh.
You put a little Pat McAfee right there.
Yeah, I'm going with Lawrence.
Alabama.
Didn't see that one.
I'm going with Lawrence. All right, Betsy Lane, the doesn't get any easier tomorrow night. They head up to play Shelby Valley. Betsy Lane at Valley.
That was a tough one.
Well, listen. This is the type of team that could cause Betsy Lane some issues.
Yeah.
How they guard defensively and playing at Shelby Valley. But I think, again, what will also cause Shelby Valley a lot of issues is that Betsy Lane has multiple guards that can do different things. So I got Betsy Lane sneaking out. Now, Valley had Pike Central beat, ladies and gentlemen, on the D&D Sports Network. Layup, wide open layup, couldn't get it there to go. So Shelby Valley could get out of there, but I got Betsy Lane sneaking out of there with the win at Shelby Valley.
I'm going with, and I love Betsy Lane. I'm a big Mike Howard fan, but I think at Valley, I'm going Valley.
Who you got, Bryce?
It's at Valley. So I've seen Betsy Lane play a few times this year. I feel like if Andrew Kidd plays, I'm going to take Betsy Lane. Andrew Kidd's a great player. I think Betsy Lane's got a lot of talent. They got a lot of size. Like Coach Keathley said, they have the guard play. Valley. It seems like Valley's kind of scrappy this year. You know, they kind of have to scrap out everything that they've had to. They've had to earn everything they've got this year. You know, losing a lot of talent. But I'm gonna take Betsy Lane.
Yeah, that was a good word to describe Shelby Valley, scrappy. You know, they're coming loss off a tough loss to West Side. So you know, I just think right now Betsy Lane's coming in with a lot of confidence, and I think Betsy Lane will get it. You know, on the road, I think they'll get this tough win.
Mingo and Tug. Mingo at Tug.
Tug.
Yeah, I'm taking Tug.
All right, we got Tug Valley.
Okay. Let's stick in West Virginia for a little bit. Friday night. The Wildcats travel to take on the Tigers as Logan makes the trip down to Chapmanville.
Whew, that's a tough one now.
It's going to be a good game, I'd say.
Chapmanville got the one at the earlier of the year at the field house. This is tough because Logan has played. They had 6 losses. 4 of them was lost in overtime, and a lot of it's because they shoot 60%, 61% or something from the free throw line.
Well, they gave the Chapmanville game away. They had Chapmanville beat. Wasn't it Chapmanville they had beat?
Yeah,
or was it Tug?
No, Tug.
It was Tug they had beat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they had Tug. They've been a couple games like that where it's just come down to free throws, and but you know I'm telling you,
I'm going Logan. I think they get the upset.
I want to say I'm gonna go with my head. I think going there. I think they're gonna catch Chapmanville off guard. I think Chapmanville's gonna look at that record and be like, I'm gonna go with Logan.
I'm okay. In the summer, I was really, really impressed with Logan. Me and you sat down and had a chance to watch them. I was like, man, this team's going to compete.
Yeah.
And I still do believe they are, and I still think they're a really good team. Chapmanville, maybe their kryptonite's going to be the guard play of Logan, though. I think now that's not taking away anything from the guard play. They've got Mr. Blevins, right? The PG, and then Joey Gollihue. But I think that Logan might be a little more physically tough around the perimeter, so I'm going to go with Logan.
I'm going back. I'm going with Chapmanville. I just Cam Blevins, the game.
Speed.
The game that he had the other day. Now McCormick Ilderton, he's going to be the difference maker. As I mentioned, he's the dark horse for Player of the Year over there. But I just got thinking. I mean, it's tough for Logan to go to Chapmanville and get that win. It's going to be rocking, and I think right now, you could make a strong case. It's going to come down to the wire, but I just think the deciding factor is it being in the Ville.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of Chapmanville on your all's page, actually, trying to get a little more educated on West Virginia ball. So I'm gonna take Chapmanville. I love their guard play. I like the way they swing the ball around. They shoot the ball at a really high clip. I'm gonna take Chapmanville over Logan. I think Logan's got a good team. I watched a little bit of them too on the page, but all in all, I think Chapmanville is just such a fundamentally sound team. I believe that they're going to go down there and get Logan.
All right, quickly. Logan at Tug Valley. They played that the night after Chapmanville. That's me. That's a trap game right there.
I'm gonna take Tug Valley for that one.
That's a trap game.
Yeah. Now where's it at?
At Tug.
Oh, Tug.
I'm going with Tug because it's at Tug.
Yeah, You better be 20 points better than you going to Tug.
Yeah. Now let's go. Johnson Central, Prestonsburg tomorrow night.
Come on, Maestro.
You can't pick. You two can't pick.
I can pick it.
Go ahead, pick it.
I mean, it's a ball game. I think right now, Johnson Central's playing on a high. Johnson Central's coming in with a lot of momentum, and I think that Prestonsburg, they still after that big loss to Floyd Central, they bounced back. Got a win at the Fieldhouse, big win, against a
rounded it out.
Yeah, against an out-of-state team. I still, I think Johnson Central's playing maybe their second best basketball of the year. I think Prestonsburg's trying to get back to that. So I take that back. I'm going Prestonsburg because at the end of the day, I think Prestonsburg. And I could be wrong, but I think Prestonsburg's a better team than Johnson Central this year. I think Johnson Central's young. Prestonsburg's got some vets. This is the kind of team or kind of game. If Prestonsburg's who people thought they were, and you look and you see, the RPI and all that, that's real. Johnson Central jumped ahead of them in that, but I think they're going to have redemption on their mind, and this is one of them backs against the wall. I think their backs are against the wall right now, and they need this win.
I think I'm going to take Johnson Central for this game. I like the basketball they've been playing. I can't remember the kid's name. I've been watching him a little bit.
Sloan.
Yeah, 27 the other night. I watched him play a little bit. He's a great player. I like Prestonsburg. I think, they got Keathley, Jackson Estridge, Ethan Farrell, all those kids, and they can play ball. But I still feel like they got a lot to iron out, being such a young team. But I think Coach Parsley will have them ready come March. But as it stands right now, I'm taking the Eagles, Johnson Central.
Yeah.
No,
you're not doing it. No bulletin board information from Coach.
No bullet. I'm not.
All right.
Oh, you really?
No, I'm not.
You're really not.
I don't blame you. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's jump to Friday night.
Why do we even do this? Yeah.
Friday night. Prestonsburg, Betsy Lane. It's at the Fieldhouse. This one is.
Can you pick this one?
Go ahead.
Coach ain't gonna pick no Prestonsburg. You know what?
I'm going now. Prestonsburg, Betsy Lane.
Yep.
I'm going to. I'm going at the Fieldhouse.
At the Fieldhouse.
I'm going Prestonsburg. Now the Johnson Central, I'm a little iffy on that game, but the Betsy Lane, I think Prestonsburg. Betsy Lane could give them problems. Andrew Kidd, he could be a mismatch problem. Do they have a kid that can combat him? I mean, Caden Allen's the one that's going to have to step up and really be that guy. Maybe his length could give him some issues, but I think at the end of the day, if you can keep up with their guards, you'll have a chance. And I think Prestonsburg, they know that that's their chance, to really right a wrong with that Floyd Central. I think they want to show that they're real, and they've got to win one of these two. So I think that Betsy Lane at the Fieldhouse they'll get. Now Betsy Lane, we'll talk next week about at Betsy Lane.
Well. A lot depends on about Andrew Kidd.
That's my concern.
Yeah, is he here? Is he not here? A lot of health. What happened? Prestonsburg, they healthy. Being at home, Betsy Lane provides a lot of mismatch. I believe mismatches that like Floyd Central did for Prestonsburg. So it's going to be tough. But if they can limit Parsons, limit Hall, limit what some of the Braden Hall does off the bench. I got Prestonsburg sneaking out of there with the W.
I feel like I'm going to take, with Andrew Kidd, I think Betsy Lane's going to win. I feel like they're bigger. I think they, like you said, they pose mismatch issues. I like Betsy Lane's guard play too. Andrew Kidd, though, I played against him. He's a really good player. So I like the way he plays. I'm going to take if Betsy Lane has Andrew Kidd, I'm taking Andrew Kidd.
He'll be good to go Friday.
Okay, well, then I'm going to go with Betsy Lane at that game.
I'm going Betsy Lane.
You going Betsy Lane?
I'm going Betsy Lane because right now they're hot.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, you look at who they've beat lately, and Coach Howard reminds me of Chase Parsley last year. He's slowly getting people to buy in.
Yeah.
You know, they're all of a sudden believing in what he's selling, and I think he's got them playing right. And I think if it was a month ago, I would have picked Prestonsburg, and I wouldn't even thought about Betsy Lane. But I just think he's got those guys believing right now. 2 more games. Wednesday night, Ashland comes to McGoffin County.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think I don't know if McGoffin County's ready for that smoke.
No,
I mean, Ashland's a different.
We don't get to cover them much, so we're excited about hopefully having that opportunity.
Yeah. I think because of matchups with Ashland, McGoffin County. McGoffin County has some length and size, but I think Ashland's speed on the perimeter, 3-ball shooting. I got Ashland getting out of there.
I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna take Ashland big in that game.
I got 2 more games.
Okay.
Friday night, Wayne at St. Joe.
Well, that'll be a good one. You get Ike Meetings in the house. Just a few miles separates these two schools. I think this is one where you're going to see 2 great performances. McCoy Eram has showed. Listen, everybody talks about top 2027 kids. If you're not mentioning McCoy Eram in this conversation, you are crazy because this young man is a baller and. Ike Meetings, he's a flamethrower from outside. I think that I'm going to go with Wayne. I don't feel real comfortable about it, but I'm going to go with Wayne just because of the Zane Atkins kid down low. I don't know if St. Joe will have the size to combat. I mean, he's still a little young, but he's, they're having, I don't know if St. Joe's freshman is going to be ready for it. So I'm going to go with Wayne in this one.
Me too.
That's a tough place to play. That place, you better get there early because they're going to be turning people away.
Yep. All right, and last but not least, this was just for Bryce. Breathitt, Floyd Central.
Floyd Central.
I forgot the other game, too. I got 2 Breathitt games. Breathitt Knott Friday night. How about that
we'll
first?
Do that one.
Is that what it is, Breathitt Knott Friday?
Yeah, Knott at Breathitt.
That's the only game I mentioned so far we're not covering.
I'll let you all go first for this one.
Breathitt Knott?
Yeah.
At Breathitt?
Yeah, at Breathitt.
I got Breathitt getting out of there, and I love Coach Huff, but I got Breathitt.
I can tell you, Casey Huff's going to want this one because it's against Jeff Honeycutt. And Jeff Honeycutt, former Knott Central coach. I'm gonna go with. Is this their first game back or? Mm-mm. So they play Floyd Central between then?
No, they play Floyd Central
the next day
after.
Saturday.
The day after.
Yeah.
Well, I still, 9 games. Do they got any this week?
No, that'll be their only game this week.
They'll win it.
6 days off.
They'll win it.
All right. I think that Breathitt is going to be rested up, but I'm going to give them some motivation. I'm going to pick Knott Central.
That's smart. Good job,
and I want you all to prove me wrong, and I'll let you all post me on your Snapchat stories and call me an idiot and paint me clown faces and stuff whenever you all beat them, hopefully. But I'm going to pick Knott Central just because I feel like as of today, Knott Central's playing better basketball than Breathitt County.
Yeah.
Big win over Morgan, which Breathitt beat Morgan too, and Knott played right with Hazard. I think Knott County's playing really good ball. I hope Breathitt wins. I'll be at that game, and I'll have my Breathitt shirt on. I'll tell you that. I'll have my King of the 14th Region shirt on. And but I'm gonna pick Knott Central as it stands right now.
Ooh.
I think that's actually when you take a look, you hit a good point there. Knott County is playing some of their best basketball of the year, and Breathitt's not so much, so they're on that slump right now. So it's going to be that one will be interesting. Now going to the Floyd Central game the next day, I'm going to go. Where's that one at?
Floyd Central. I'm going to go with Floyd Central, and here's why.
Go ahead.
It's the day after a big game. It's always hard to come back after you have that big region rivalry game, top teams in the region.
Do we know what time that day is? That game is?
It'll probably be, 5, 6 o'clock, but I'm going to go ahead. Here's the deal.
7:30.
Breathitt knocked off Floyd Central in the preseason at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Floyd Central playing really, really well. Breathitt County coming into the 15th region late in the year. Listen, it's tough. Listen, I love my Breathitt County fans, but I got Floyd Central getting the W at Floyd Central, and that's taking nothing away from Breathitt County.
I think Breathitt County is going to win that game pretty easily.
Beat Floyd Central? Wow.
I'm taking it too.
I think Breathitt County. I don't think Floyd Central has one player in Floyd County, up Minnie, up anywhere, up Martin, Allen, anywhere that can guard Austin Sperry. I don't think they have the size to compete with Terry and Gross down low. Their guards are good. They kind of play 5 across the board that play similar ways. So they shoot the ball good. I think if Breathitt can stick in their man to man, chase Floyd Central off the 3-point line, I think Breathitt walks out of Floyd Central with a pretty easy win.
If it was an early game, I would have took Floyd Central, but it being a 7:30 game,
12 hours is all you need, boys. Come on, 12 hours is all you need.
I'm taking Breathitt because it's at 7:30. I think if it was an early game, I think they may have come in flat. The crowd might not have been there, but they're going to know this is a big time game.
The crowd will be there, brother. Yeah, I promise the crowd will be there.
So that's definitely going to be interesting. Thomas, we got a winner for $50.
Oh, I got to go pick a winner.
Yeah. As we're sitting here now, guys, this week here, it's panned out to be a huge week of basketball, and this is the week that you really tell contenders versus pretenders,
100%.
and
separate the men from the boys.
Yeah, and they Thomas, if you want to pick, go through, pick 5 names, and then we'll let Bryce pick a number 1 through 5.
And real quick, congratulations to Brandon Kidd. Prestonburg defeated Morgan County, and Coach Brandon Kidd got his 100th career win. Congratulations, Coach Kidd, one of the classiest coaches to do it.
Audrey Prater had 26 points, 14 rebounds, 7 steals, 6 assists in that ball game.
Man, oh man!
How about that?
I can't see the shares. That's what I was trying to see. Because it's not giving it to me on my phone. Let me go over here. Hang on.
I'll be able to pull them up. If it'll let me.
Yeah, we're giving away $50, and I like that. That could be a new theme. We're giving $50 away because of a angry fan money.
Hey, listen, if somebody comes and donates. By the way, guys, if you missed the story, I had an angry fan come and kept saying fake news, and another fan that was a huge fan went to their car, got $50, handed it to me right in front of the angry fan, and said, "I love what you guys do. You have changed the game."
Martin County beat McGoffin 78-74 was the final score
tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a close
game. Yeah.
And
it might have a little more competition in that 58th than you think.
Jacoby Qualls, real quick, wants to know your opinion on Chris Spriggs.
Chris Spriggs, I wonder who that is.
Floyd Central, point guard.
Yeah.
I'm not good with names. I'd have to see.
Now there's just some bulletin board material.
Be careful.
You prove me wrong, I shake your hand, brother.
Spriggs, listen, that kid. I've
seen Floyd Central play.
I'm sure if anybody that plays in the Dust Bowl or plays in, that's played pickup and ball courts, in 14th region, 15th region, they know who Chris Spriggs is. Spriggs, he's a gamer. He hit some big shots the other night. In the corner, I like the one he hit. Turned around, and looked at the spirit section, and pulled a little Steph Curry action there. I'm a big time Chris Spriggs fan. I still think he's one of the best point guards in that class. One of the best players in that class. And
He plays for Floyd Central?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over next.
If I watched him play, I would definitely know who he is. Because I've watched him play a few times.
Darryl McCoy, he's got the beard now, so he's got the Hollywood Hulk Hogan look. So
Oh,
he's now Hollywood Chris Spriggs.
Yeah.
And listen, I've been a fan of his since his days. He's can do a little bit of everything and very tough to guard getting to the rack.
Chris Spriggs starting the NWO back in the New World Order.
I pick one, Darryl. I can't pull it up.
He said no one could guard. He said you said no one could guard Austin Sperry. He said he has one for you.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll
now
see.
we got bulletin board back and forth.
Yeah. So
all I can say is Jacoby Qualls, I wouldn't poke the bear. Because when it comes out of hibernation, brother, it comes screaming like a demon.
And as we're sitting here right now, guys, we see when you look and see, pick a number 1 through 5.
1 through 5. I'm gonna take 5. That was my number in high school.
5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go with James and Jen Case.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
So,
James and Jen
Case is the winner tonight. And Kevin Stepp was probably going to be the next one.
Yeah.
So,
my bad, Kevin.
Yeah. So Bryce knocked you out of it.
My bad.
Guys, we appreciate all you guys. This show continues to get bigger. Appreciate Bryce. He brings another dimension onto the show, talking about the 14th region. Coach Kevin Keathley, big week coming up in basketball. Want to make sure you guys go ahead, Tom.
Oh wait, we got to talk about the big news last week. 180,000 people watched the D&D Sports Network.
Wow,
180,000 people in 1 week.
And it's not regional tournament. Wait till we have two regional tournaments going on.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Think about that. 180,000 on a regular week of high school basketball.
Unbelievable.
People in Eastern Kentucky love their high school basketball. That's for daggone sure.
Yeah, and that makes us even happier that you folks at home, I mean, you guys are the secret. You guys and our sponsors is what makes this happen for the kids. So we could not thank you guys enough. You know, I mean, that's at the end of the day, if you got one of these and you care about high school athletics, you're probably following D&D Sports.
Yeah, true.
So, again, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Want to thank Bryce Hoskins for joining us once again. Glad to have the maestro back.
Yeah.
And, guys, get out to your local gym and support the kids this coming week. If you can't make it, you can catch some great games on D&D Sports Network. And we will be back next Wednesday night on regular time for the grind session. So you guys want to make sure you stay tuned for that. But until next time, so long and good night.
Watch this, Bryce. Watch this.
3 of them.
Oh, yeah.